If you want to get some cabbage, you gotta show some abbage. What's up? It's week 3 of the off-center experiment. I bet you're all very excited for that. And we are joined by Triple J's David Woodhead for this week's episode of...
Well, we'll just tell your mother that we ate it all.
But
To start the episode, I do want to...
Well, we're recording.
Yeah, I would like to address this. I did a tweet. And it was because everyone's talking about second wave of coronavirus or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to relate the third wave of coronavirus to ska, the genre, and I got a reply. I got a reply from Aaron Gox saying "Mighty Mighty Boss Rona."
Yeah.
Got a reply from Jared Jekyll saying "Ooh, this is the best."
Yeah.
And then I got a reply from Andrew Hastings.
Yeah.
That's
I don't tweet at you much.
Yeah, I know. And it said, every time you make a joke I like, my therapist has to hear all about it.
Yeah, that's true. It's a little factoid.
Now, give us some context.
So you must be talking to
No,
your therapist
I
about
was-
me all the time.
I was making a Twitter joke. I don't actually do that,
No,
James.
you weren't.
Yeah. I think there is.
I don't
definitely-
enjoy Rose succeeding at things.
Yeah, no, I think we all know that. Yeah.
I like it better when Rose
Oh, David
fails.
Woodhead's just chucked me a like
just
for
chucked
that.
Who would
Yeah,
you
cheers, we
s-
appreciate that.
who's-
This tweet has gone much better than I thought it would.
Who's someone whose success you do enjoy?
Yeah,
You can't say Andrew Hastings.
There can't be anyone.
In earnest, all my friends. I love it when all of them succeid so much. It makes
You
me so
just
happy.
said you didn't like when Rose did.
No, I think what we're finding out now is that he
Yeah.
doesn't consider me a friend.
There's
Knight to Rook 4?
Well, there's two wolves inside every man.
That's what I think.
Yeah, there's two wolves inside every man. I can be happy for someone, and
You've got a big boog on.
I know.
your
I'm
nose.
trying to pick it off.
Yeah, there we go.
Do not flick that
You
into
got
my
it.
apartment. Oh,
Fucking-
yucca.
I know.
Oh,
I need to get you a
it's on the
tissue.
index and
Damn.
the rude finger.
Hang on.
Yeah,
you better
it's a
flick
big
no,
one.
Don't rub
Damn,
that.
you better
I'm get-
flick
I'm
that
get-
bad
no,
boy.
I'm
I'm
getting
putting
you
it
a
on my
tissue.
beer. It's on my
I was
beer.
gonna get you a tissue.
All right, give me a tissue.
I'll get you a tissue.
In this,
Yeah, all right.
Got an abundance of
Thank
tissues
you.
in this house.
Flick
in this
that
world
bad
Thank
we
you.
live in now, you want to start throwing boogers in places?
Yeah, give me that tissue, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like getting me a tissue, don't you?
Yeah, we've replaced a trans woman with a POC now, so
Yeah, we're fine.
yeah, we've got Dave.
I'm allowed to call Rose a bitch
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Well, is this going to be a whole thing? I thought I was just
Here you
coming
go.
up for one episode.
Yeah, it's a cum
Yeah, no,
tissue.
you're now.
Oh, no.
the new
No,
host.
that joke would make more sense if I still actually produced any ejaculate.
All
Do you
right.
know?
Which I don't. No, not
Yeah,
really.
let's talk about that.
Yeah, don't really.
So you're like me and Hastings at 11.
Yeah,
Jacking off
genuinely,
to
it's like
TV
going back to like the
guide.
first time
Dude,
you
I-
come when just like nothing comes out.
I was jacking off wet at 11, dude. I was coming at
You
11.
weren't getting wet at 11.
There was like a few drops of
Yeah,
semen
that's
at 11.
foam. That doesn't count.
It-
Foam. It wasn't foam. It
It's
was
foam,
liquid.
brother.
At 12, I was producing full rope.
Oh, I was fucking shooting ropes at 12.
yeah,
dude.
yeah, yeah.
It was at 11.
I was fucking knocking a bitch out.
I reckon I'd only come about 3 times before I
I
started
reckon I've
actually
only
produce
truly come about 3 times.
stuff.
Okay.
Certainly me.
Yeah.
Hello, okay. I think this is new housemate's first time experiencing this.
Damn.
So welcome back.
Hi, how are you?
We've just started.
We're 3
so
minutes in. I've said like 9 hilarious jokes.
That's not accurate. At
Everyone
all.
else is doing nothing but bomb.
It's not.
We could
not
cut your
accurate at
mic.
all. Yeah, we could.
I'm
and we
not
should.
part of the podcast. I'm
Please
just here
don't
for
cut-
one time.
Just here for the beers.
Jamie, please
thank
don't cut my mic, Jamie.
Just like it to be known.
We could just do this. Hold on.
Just like to be known that my housemate's partner just
Ah,
complimented
damn,
my
you can't
comedy.
do that. Hold on. Keep talking.
Well,
Think
I'm
he
not
was
going to
talking
work.
to me.
You can just do that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, you're back now, dude.
All right, good. Man, if people start cutting my mics on pods, I might just have to finally
But in
do it.
case you need, Dave, he's
Go do
great.
comedy
You
in
can just
Brisbane.
turn it down.
So is there a structure to this, or is this it?
Not really.
Oh,
just
not a great deal. Yeah.
Maybe
Like-
we try to talk over each other less. And I'm talking mostly to myself here.
No.
Yeah. Well, look, we've been at the pub.
Mm.
You haven't.
This
No.
could be this could be one of our favorite drunk podcasts.
Oh,
yeah,
God,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
dead sober.
No, you're not.
Well, you just been sipping out of a beer.
That's true. I also had 3 cones before I came here.
Of
That's
course
what
you
I
did.
was referring to.
Yeah.
Woo! No,
No, but that's the Hastings of like, I'm completely sober.
I
I've
literally
had 10
can't.
Ah, man, I
cones.
got a great Hastings story for you, actually.
Oh,
'cause
okay.
we were
Yeah,
like
yeah.
fucking giving shit to him the other week. It's just like Hastings, like
No.
obviously we know Hastings has a bit of a marijuana problem.
Yeah.
Do you partake in the?
I don't. I actually, I used to smoke a lot of weed like 17, 18, but
Yeah.
got a bit of the old anxiety from it. Anyone heard of this? Pretty cool.
I assume Triple J are pretty drug test like.
yeah. They do not condone
Yeah, they
any
do not
drug
condone
use
any
at
drug
all.
use.
Nah, mate. Every
But-
time Richard Kingsmill puts a song on, he is just pulling cones in the studio.
Mate, I am not commenting.
Just say no. Anyway, here's the new Dune Rat single.
Now, one thing has always been
Red
funny.
light, green light. Yeah, green light to fucking pull more fucking bongs.
Green, right, some green right here. No, one thing that's always funny about Triple J is like we have to have language warnings when we have songs with
Swears.
and it's not even just swears because there's hard. It's not even like a language warning. It's more of an explicit warning because if you say like fuck in a song, but it's more like oh I fucking love you. It's kind of like more of like a poppy thing. Then it's
Yeah.
like, that's fine. Like you don't need to give language warning. But if it's like a song going like I want to fuck you and like,
Yeah.
I love when you
Right.
fuck me.
Yeah.
Or like I love.
Or just like really, like no swears, but really explicitly sexual or something.
yeah. Like,
So
but
my
then,
mixtape's not getting on.
No,
Is your
no.
way to tell me,
No,
Dave?
well, it could, but
I mean, you can upload anything onto
the,
on
the
a.
swears aren't the issue, Hastings. It's just
Yeah.
the content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a terrible.
Too
I've heard
sexy.
it. Stop sending it to me.
That's what everyone keeps saying about your stand-up as well. The swearing is not the issue.
Dave, I will never stop drunkenly sending you front-facing videos. Drunkenly at 2 a.m. of me freestyling. I'm not going to stop doing that.
It's funny that as well.
The
that
day
you-
I stop doing that's the day I stop living.
It's
It's
all
funny
just backseat freestyle.
It's funny as well that you think
Kendrick
freestyling.
Hastings had a dream.
I think it's funny that Hastings thinks freestyling is just singing all-day songs. That's what freestyling is, isn't it?
All my life, I want spots and power. Respect my mind.
That's very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar's an open mic comic is pretty fun.
Yeah. Oh man. Look,
Have you noticed that
I
if
want
you
to
just-
I got too excited
I was
about it. I
like,
fucked it.
have
I was
you
going to
know-
say, bitch, don't kill this vibe.
Right.
I was
Comedy
gonna
on a
say,
Saturday night.
have you
Bitch, don't kill
noticed
this
if you
hang.
fill up a pool, then you should dive in it?
Drank.
They're trying to do the catchphrase kind of thing. Drink.
Drink.
That's
You know,
hilarious.
I got a bone to pick. You monkey mouth motherfuckers.
Like leaning on the stand. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all
I ain't
right.
mad. But I'm
You know,
real friends. One question.
the other day,
Hey, sit down.
the other day I got a DNA test
Yeah, it's a heckler.
and I loyalty and royalty inside my DNA. I got cocaine and this is not doing too well. Just
Starts reading out Drake lyrics. Oh, man.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, I got a Hastings story.
so what's this podcast about?
Jamie,
Get into that. I'll
Jamie
introduce
telling
it later.
Hastings
I'll tell the
stories.
Hastings story and then we can get
largely as an
straight into it.
anthropological study of Hastings' life.
It's mostly that like Hastings was fucking talking about. We were like talking about his like prolonged weed use.
Yes.
And we were talking specifically about like when we got up in the morning, and because like my wife's a teacher, she gets up. very-
Hastings is going, morning.
I have a job.
Well,
To be
you
fair,
know.
when you didn't have a job, you were rising at like 2 p.m.
Man, it was so good.
So like we were talking
Not
about
last
like
time before that, last time I was a bit more sensible.
we were talking about like when my wife gets up and like I don't get much up, up much later, and Hastings was saying that like he gets up like 5 to 6 hours later than that anyway, but like when he does that, he'll look at the clock. And
Wait, does what?
When you get up at like say like
Or
8,
wake up.
when you wake
At a
up-
regular time.
Yeah, when you wake up at 8 or 9,
Yeah.
that he looks at the clock and he's so impressed that he gives himself a little cone to reward himself,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
goes back to sleep for 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
I think my wife's
If, like,
eyes popped out of her skull at that point.
Yeah. if I don't have to be up before like, let's say if I don't have to be up before like 12,
Yeah.
I'll if I'm up before 10, then yeah, I'll have a little sleepy time.
I kind of have that as one. I don't have the drug use in it. But
All right, dude, we get it.
I will set like an alarm at like 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, and I'll get up at 7:30 and I'll go, whoa, I can have another half an hour. And
Yeah.
have like kind of go back to sleep, get up at 8, get back to sleep, go.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm supposed to get to work technically at 9:30. But I
Be
do-
like, I'm not on air until 12.
yeah, it's like, I like, you should be there at 9:30, but you don't really need to be there till 12.
You're like, oh, you shouldn't have said that.
Hated and discriminated against.
have.
I've been protested and demonstrated against. Pick a time for my wicked rhymes. Look at the time.
That's going to come out so smooth in the edit.
I love. There's a couple of lines of the Eminem show that I love. That one's like, pick up the line, pick a time for my wicked rhymes. Look at the time, and then the
That's
other
maybe
song.
that's one of my least favorite songs on that album.
Oh,
I reckon. Yeah.
least favorite?
Yeah, I don't
Put it
like that
down
one
the
that
closet.
much.
You know,
Yeah.
my least favorite is Till I Collapse, because the opening when he
Till
goes.
I collapse fucking
Till I
rules.
Collapse.
No. When he goes, till I collapse, I'm spilling these raps. Shut the fuck up, bro. I don't.
The Eminem show's a great
It's a
album.
great
That's
album.
fantastic.
You know what's
album.
My
really
Dad's Gone
underrated, I
Crazy
reckon?
might be my favorite on there.
My
That's a
Dad's Gone
great
Crazy
song.
is sick.
Yeah.
You know
Square
what's quite
Dance?
underrated, I think? Haley's song.
Ugh.
He feels like fucking singing. He's going to sing.
Nah, I hate that.
kinda
I like it better
uh,
when he's
I like-
being wacky.
Let me check the
I like
track
a-
listing, but the one
I like just on the point of Haley's song. I like when he goes, when he starts rapping again. Man, what does he say? He goes like, man, I'd keep singing as long as I blow stomach as long as my father. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
really get that. If I could keep singing, I'd keep singing the songs,
These
to, my
songs to my
daughter. If I
daughter.
could hit the notes as picture perfect, blow notes as long as my father.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
when
does
the
that mean?
music
Whose
stops,
notes?
that song. When the
Sounds
music
like
stops,
notes.
that song fucking rules.
Yeah, when the music stops, rules.
Because it's got D12 on it. Say
uh,
What You Say is also great.
And we were.
Man, there's a lot of songs that probably like Drips and Superman are both like a fucking vile blast of misogyny.
Superman is
Superman
vile,
is
but
fire
also
though.
It's
Yeah.
it rules.
Like,
It's
one
so
of my
good.
one of my like best women friends who lives in Melbourne now, like just will go ham on that at karaoke.
Oh, I
Yeah,
could,
yeah,
I
dude.
could
It rules.
blaze that
Yeah.
to you at karaoke. I
But
fucking
you know the
destroy
problem is like the problem with Superman. I mean, well, like because it's so like
it.
fucking
Insanely
crazy now.
misogynist.
But like that hook is just
Oh, yeah.
so catchy.
It's
I
really-
do know one thing though.
It's like
which is
such a
Make
good
it
song.
go.
Like,
you know what the crazy thing? Drake has put out a new album or like new mixtape called and one of the songs Chicago Freestyle. He interpolates that chorus. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's the
Really?
right word. Interpolate is that? Yeah, interpolate.
I've never heard that word before.
What
You know
what
what
he
interpolates?
No,
No.
interpolated.
yeah.
What does
yeah.
it mean?
He it just means that he kind of does it. Like he uses it, not a sample.
Reinterprets.
Is it like when people do hip hop songs of like the covers, but they change the lyrics?
Not really. It's
Megan
kind of like,
Thee Stallion is kind of doing it at the moment. She's doing Girls in the Hood.
yeah, yeah,
She's
yeah.
like reappropriating the whole
Yeah.
like, really misogynist thing and being like, I fuck
I'm,
and I
I'm
rule.
picturing like Rumor doing Rascal Flats. Because
kind
that's
of,
like a
it's
specific
more,
type of thing that
so
there's not
pretty
a word
much
for.
in the Drake one. So his song called Chicago Freestyle. What
Yeah.
the hook is, he just takes a hook.
Yeah.
He goes, I do know one thing though.
Yeah.
It's like bitches because it's straight. He goes, women, they come, they go. So
Yeah.
Sunday. He goes, maybe I'll love you
And
one
then-
day. Maybe I'll one day grow. Till then, I'll sit my drunk ass on that runway with this
Oh,
one.
he's doing the sensitive Drake thing.
He does the
Trying to-
Drake thing.
But then
I thought he was gonna say maybe they'll one day grow.
Yeah, as in-
reference to them
Yeah.
turning maybe 13, 14.
Yeah. Maybe
So-
one day Millie Bobby Brown will be
Yeah. Hey
not a
girl
minor.
from Stranger
Yeah.
Things, you wanna see my ting?
That's very funny.
It's like an alien in a wall.
It's
You're
something
gonna
like
suck my balls.
The strange.
You know, Drake is just like a millimeter away from being cancelled
Oh.
at all times.
He's been cancelled.
Yeah,
It's
but he
just-
lives in like a fucking solid gold house.
Yeah,
He
like
doesn't care.
try cancelling.
Really, the strangest thing is how much he loved these girls. You know?
I don't know if I've ever told
I bet you like Drake will fucking like if Drake gets cancelled for like going after underage girls, there will be like a 5-year period where people like make fun of Drake, and then his sad album about how he feels bad about it will
because
get,
it'll have a huge banger on it.
will get an 8.6 on Pitchfork.
I agree
Seriously?
with you, but this whole process will take 6 weeks.
Yeah, probably.
That's seriously how
Cancel
he's gotten away
cancel
with it.
culture.
He's just like he does some fucking average stuff, but then he'll just put out it's like ripping banger.
I
And everyone's
think
just like,
Drake has
actually rules.
Drake has a much better output than people think. I think.
He
Oh, yeah,
does.
absolutely.
He does.
I'm a huge Drake fan.
Like,
But
take
Have I
care,
ever-
nothing
Have I ever told the
was
story
Nothing
when
was the same, yeah.
Have I ever told the story of when I
Incredible.
saw Drake live?
I've seen Drake live.
I've seen Drake live too.
I went to his show.
All right, we get it. You guys have stuff in common.
Yeah, but I went to see him. It was like
Just try to give the audience a bit
it was
of
just
a...
one of the
Can we start
funniest
a best
like
friends cast?
it was just one of the funniest things of just like an overseas celebrity like trying to do like a good thing for Australia but just getting it kind of wrong. Was like he came out like wearing like the big like fucking Lakers like jock jacket or whatever. And then at one point, like, goes backstage for a second. The DJ's just kind of spinning a beat or whatever. And then he comes back out, and he was wearing a Wallabies jersey. And I'm like, oh, you just got it
Was
a
that
bit. You got it a bit wrong.
Was that the
Like,
Sydney Showground? The Olympic Park?
Yeah,
Yes.
not in the big one though.
But that had the moment where like he went on like the elevated platform.
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I was there.
Hey, there you go. I was there.
I've actually, I got a funny story when I was... Because this is the Boy Meets World tour, which was 2018.
No, this was earlier than that.
It should have been like
I mean,
maybe 2016.
When he came...
Yeah, probably
If I
about
were
that.
in Degrassi, I wouldn't name a tour after a different childhood sitcom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but are
well,
you going
you
to call it the Degrassi tour? Like, that'd be weird.
Like if
Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
if a kid from Neighbours became a huge international pop star, they wouldn't do a tour
Yeah.
called Home and Away.
I
Like, it
would.
doesn't-
It'd be like a funny thing.
It'd be funny, it's like the Drake tour, Smoke of the Degrassi. Or
yeah,
something. Like,
yeah. The difference between you and Drake is Drake's like seems embarrassed and isn't trying to be funny about that.
So
Yeah.
like didn't Screech from
Also, play to someone in a wheelchair. Cancelled.
Screech from
Cancelled.
Screech from Saved by the
Dustin
Bell did like a
Diamond.
porno where he did like
Yeah.
He was trying to like save his. He was trying to make money.
but like what the name of it was like related to it, and it's crazy that you just
He's
wouldn't
probably
call
like
it.
Saved by the Balls or something
Well, I
like
was gonna
that.
say,
Like-
why wouldn't you just call it Saved by the Bell End?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
but that'd
yeah.
be more British.
Yeah, but
Saved
like,
by the Bell End.
Suck my bollocks. I'm a Screech.
Have you ever seen that?
Why is he British? American
yeah,
sitcom?
yeah, I don't know.
It's,
Doing a tour, baby.
I hate to like relate this to Cumtown or whatever, but like Stav did the funniest tweet once, which was just like I was
About
watching.
suck
He's
my
like, I was
dick.
watching a British porno, and the guy said, "Suck those hairy bollocks,"
Yeah.
and I laughed so hard that I forgot I was jerking off and started watching Monty Python instead.
I love to relate
It's
it
so
to Come
funny.
Down. Let's just go around and do our best Come Down.
That's the best bit.
Man,
Now
let's
let's move
not.
on. Yeah, let's absolutely not do that.
Let's
So,
do more
what
Eminem
about your
lyrics,
story
though.
about Drake?
What
Oh,
about
yeah,
when
yeah,
you
yeah.
spoke about anthrax on Tampaxes?
Oh, with
Super
Eminem.
Man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was just saying.
Anyway,
that
tell
was
your Drake
cool.
story.
Very violent.
Oh, yeah, so Eminem. Now I'm thinking about Eminem. No, but so when I saw Drake, he had this one bit where he would he turned all the lights on. And he goes, "I want this to feel real. I want to see you. Like this is real."
It's so contrived.
Oh man, that
and
rules.
the lights come on,
Right.
and like he's pointing at people. It's like, "I see you in the green t-shirt." Like,
That's what he was doing on our one, but he was on this
Yeah.
like it was almost this like elevated swing thing going
Yeah.
over because he looked down at one point and he's like, "You with the deep eyes," which was a very weird thing to say. And then he said like this other thing where he was very clearly like gonna like say something quite crude, like huge tits or something, like that, and he's like, "Big hair."
well,
Okay.
So I really I wanted Drake to notice me.
Oh fuck yeah! And
So-
you could be noticed.
Well,
you got a
what happened
distinctive-
was, so
yeah.
I was going, because I knew that Drake is a man of respect. So I started like saluting him. Because I thought, oh, if I salute him, he'll be. But he was looking like over there, like he wasn't looking at me yet. So I just kept saluting him. And it started
That
to
looks
look
weird.
like a
Oh, you're doing the Hitler
Nazi.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like,
No, I'm indigenous.
well, because fucking Drake is Jewish as well, so, and you know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
before you go into, it's like, hey, be careful going to Australia. Like everyone there is racist.
And he's got a room full of white people
he-
screaming the
yeah,
N-word back
and,
at him.
and he just sees me, this big fucking cunt doing the
doing the Zeke
doing
Heil.
the thing, and I didn't. But when
And
he
you're like, no, he loves respect.
That's you explaining that
no, I
I
respect
should
him.
get it
I'm
like
getting-
to the Jewish Defamation
Yeah.
League.
You've got
Like
two
the next day.
swastikas on you.
while I'm getting arrested. No,
Yeah.
I respect him. But then, like when he finally got to me, I switched up and I threw up.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, yeah.
oh,
The
okay.
okay symbol.
No,
Okay,
okay, no.
I've
no,
got
no.
something to talk about after
No,
that.
okay. So it's the OK symbol, which is now
A white power
a
symbol.
white power symbol. This is going to sound very bad, but I did both of them. Well, what that actually means in Drake World is the 6.
Yeah.
Toronto.
Oh, okay.
Where
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
from.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah. It
So
looks
then
like
he
6,
saw
yeah.
me and he said, and I see you, big dog, throwing up them 6s. So Drake noticed me.
I got 2 stories based on that.
Man, that's pretty lucky.
It was,
Yeah.
like it was very like,
Just otherwise it'd be like, local man makes white power symbols throughout rap content. It's like, all right, well, he's not getting the salutes. I'm going to throw up the WPs.
I have 2 stories based on that. The first one is when we went and saw Blink-182 when we were in year 8 or whatever. My friend Mark at the time
Hoppus.
had like. We do talk about my friend Mark Hoppus within this story. Yeah. He has a speaking role. His name's Mark Houston, but he had like a big afro, which like didn't look too dissimilar to what Dave's hair looks like now. But at one point, like they were never going to play requests, but at one point they were just going like what does everyone want to hear? And then like because like Mark's afro was like so distinctive. Mark Hoppus just pointed him in the eye and goes like, "What song does that guy want to hear?" And he just like screamed out like Adam's song or whatever because he didn't know what to say. And they didn't play it. But then you could see Mark just like head nearly exploded from just like, my life's not going to get any better than this.
Yeah.
Mark Hoppus just looked me in the eye as a 14-year-old.
Fuck yeah.
The other story based on that thing, right, is I'm seeing a girl at the moment and she has a tattoo on the back of her right arm, like the upper arm or whatever, which is a little circle with a hand doing the like A-OK.
Wait, did you say
symbol
she
in it.
has a tattoo of that symbol on her right arm, did you say?
It's see, I think that makes it funnier.
On her right arm. Wait, yeah, I fucked her.
No.
Yes.
you were so giddy with that. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm in a good mood today.
Yeah. But she has that
"Where's the
tattoo.
3 cones you had?"
She has that tattoo. Her housemate and like best mate also has that tattoo. They got it as like matching best friends things because that's always been their thing. It's just like, hey, everything's A-OK with me or whatever. But then, like, because that was like a couple of years ago or whatever. And at that time, like, it wasn't really known to be like this alt-right symbol. But she's like, since then, like, a few people have come up and been like, "What's the deal with your tattoo?"
John Cena fan.
And has had to like explain it. And she's like, her new rule now is if like within the next year she has 10 people ask her if it's a white power symbol, then she's going to get it removed. And she's up to 6.
I genuinely think she should
Get it embellished.
she should tell people it's a John Cena tattoo. Though a lot of people on the internet now are saying, like tattoo artists I've seen are saying they'll do free cover-ups for like hate stuff. Yeah.
I
But
only
the problem
realized,
is like it was never a hate thing.
Yeah.
It just looks like a
I
hate
only
thing.
realized
Well,
it
it
was
is
a
now.
hate thing because like someone on Twitter like did the
The
game
cog.
But
where
the
you
problem
put,
as well
no,
is
but you know the
she's
thing where you put
very
it down
white.
low and like,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
someone
And
sees
you
it, you
punch
get
them.
to hit him in the dick. Someone's like, "Yeah, this is racist now." And I was like, "What? Wait,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that thing. Yeah.
yeah."
the same.
No, wasn't
Stop.
looking.
It was never in the dick for us. It was just in the arm.
I was always a dick.
At my,
They had to give me a hand job.
We had 6
well,
fish.
you got to suck
That
me
was
off
a-
now.
You saw the circle? Now you got to gurgle.
Did you guys have
My motto.
Did you guys have 6 fish?
No, it was 6 fish.
It was like if you farted, you had to say safe because if you didn't say safe,
Oh, we did have that.
Then someone could
I
say
forgot
6
about that
fish,
game.
and they just punch you in the arm until you named 6 fish. And to like,
salmon, trout, shoot,
yeah,
just doing that.
and it's so much harder to think of 6 fish while someone's belting you in the arm.
Damn,
But like,
we
I
should
got,
bring that back in common.
but I got so conditioned by that like I was still saying safe after I farted for like 2 years after it stopped being a thing.
Yeah.
because I was just
Yeah.
like, someone's gonna start hitting me.
With that white power hand gesture thing, I have to use it all the time at work, and it's kind of funny. It's because so it's like a lot of
Language barrier.
I'm dealing with like language barrier stuff all day.
Yeah.
and a lot of
And you
conversations.
do it to signify
So-
that you're more powerful.
So absolutely,
because
no,
these people are not of the white race.
yeah. Well, no. So
I need to show them who's what.
he comes
yeah.
in, he like does a look me in the eye. Huh?
It's just-
Hey, okay.
They come
Meh,
around and
meh,
they're like,
meh.
you are doing it, but you don't
Yeah.
need to.
So, because it's like I'm trying to get through these like at times kind of complicated like conversations with people who don't speak English particularly well. It's there's a lot of like particularly at the end of the conversation there's a lot of like, cool, are we all good? Are we all okay? Are you
Yeah.
happy? is this conversation done, sort of thing. And the kids, it's like mostly Chinese kids, they would like do the like AOK symbol at me, and then after a while I just started to realize like they got it much quicker. They recognized that fast, and they recognized like a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Like I was always using thumbs ups. And so now I'm doing it 10 times a day, and every time like they're just always like, oh cool, yep, got it, like whatever, and it's like functional, and every single time I'm like, fuck, I hope no one saw that.
Can I just
Windows.
can I just do this as an ode to our guest? Triple J.
That's funny. Except it squeaked on the way up. That's
Yeah, because I started it too early.
Man, you guys are lit. I love it. I feel like I'm able to outsmart you all now because you're all drinking.
Oh,
Because
dear.
we be drinking. I mean, I don't know. I'm not even buzzed.
Shall we start?
Should we get into this fucking thing?
Yeah.
I think we should
Okay,
get more
welcome
drinks.
to We'll Just Tell Your Mother We Ate It All, a podcast about teen sex comedies and things thereabouts and things very much not thereabouts. We are in the middle of our special arc where we watch every episode of the failed sitcom Off Center, 3 episodes at a time. This week we are doing episode 7, Swing Me Swing Time. Episode 8, Money or Brother Can You Spare a Ski Trip? And episode 9, Marathon Man. I am Rosie Piper.
I am Jamie Kirk.
I'm Andrew Hastings.
And we're joined by a very special guest, Triple J's David Woodhead. How you doing, Dave?
I'm pretty cool. How y'all?
Interesting that you
Are we doing the
decided to
whole?
say
Are we
that
doing
you're
every
pretty
episode
cool.
or just season 1?
No, we're doing every episode. There's only
Season 2 is like cup.
I just
Alright,
I just asked how you all are, and you completely.
Sorry,
Oh,
I
see,
need
what
to
I-
clear up some admin.
Also, what happens on every episode of this is we introduce the podcast and then we keep talking about bullshit for about 10 more minutes before we actually start talking about the
Speaking
thing.
of my work, I was
Oh,
at
God,
work
see,
today.
this is what happens. Yeah.
And
I'm
I'm
good, thank you.
A very trendy, fashionable, like teenage boy told me he liked my new shoes, and I've been in such a good mood ever since.
Oh, now you're going to be like, oh, I'm bi again.
No, he's a child. Fuck that.
Yeah, right.
Also,
yeah.
maybe I am. Fuck. Like, I wasn't trying to fuck that kid, but like. No, yeah.
I read the plot synopses for these
like the
episodes?
tone you
okay.
said talked about me being attracted to men in.
Shut up, bitch.
Because it's a long-running
Fuck
bit on
it,
the podcast. Bi erasure is bad, and I support my bi friends.
It's not a bit I started.
I'm seeing a bi person at the moment. Okay, so episode 7, the plot synopsis here. Mike's parents come to New York for a visit, giving Mike a chance to bond with his estranged father. Things start working out until Ewan catches Mr. Platt. Here we find out that Mike's surname is Platt, with another woman. Episode 8, we have Mike takes on a second job at Chow's restaurant to solve his money problems. When Ewan offers to help Mike out, Mike refuses. So Ewan pretends to get Mike a job at his firm when in reality, Ewan is the one paying him. And then episode 9, Ewan is the subject of a hot rumor at work after a co-worker tells others that Ewan is gay. Mike is thrilled to meet Liz's unimpressive ex-boyfriend.
Dave, you'd never heard of this sitcom before we
Never
brought you
heard
on
of
here?
And
it.
you did have an
Yeah.
interesting take when you turned up to the pub earlier.
Okay, yeah. So, here's the thing. So, when y'all asked me to be on this podcast, Rosie says, so we have to watch something for when we're watching these episodes.
Yeah.
And Rosie, sent through the 3 episodes, and she said, well, just so you are fully aware, this is a terrible, terrible podcast. Sorry, not podcast.
I said that.
No, she said it was
I said that later.
yeah. She said
Shut up. He's about to say if he said anything about me specifically.
No, she said it is
It's a terrible, terrible co-host.
It's a terrible,
Yeah.
terrible show.
Yeah.
So I was ready, like when I watched the first episode, I was ready to go, oh yeah, this shit sucks. And the first episode that the Swingers one did suck. But as I got through more of it, I was like, oh, it's just kind of an average sitcom.
You
It's
got Stockholm
not-
syndrome.
Yeah, it's actually, I didn't think it was horrible.
That's kind of
Like,
what's happened to me too.
So you like, all right.
I'm fully on board now. I actually like it.
Yeah, of course you do.
I think
Yeah,
it's no
perfectly
worse.
entertaining.
I think it's no worse than any other dog shit sitcom.
Yeah, and one thing I kind
Oh,
of...
I mean, like, I'd rather watch this than Big Bang Theory or
I'd
something.
rather watch Big Bang Theory, but I can talk about that later if we want. I have a specific point comparing it to Big Bang Theory.
I kind of like one thing was I found, and they only did one joke about it, but I kind of thought it'd be more interesting if they explored it more. Was because it was like 2001, so it was like post 9/11. So in the first episode that
This did start like
Yeah.
just after 9/11.
And so one
like
thing-
a month later or
one
something.
one joke they have in the first episode. So the side character, I don't remember his name. It was
Status
the
Quo?
rapper.
Status Quo.
Status Quo. So Status Quo is like having MTV Cribs join, and then he's and then Chow. Is his name Chow?
Yeah.
Chow, yeah.
Yeah. Played by the
John Cho.
yeah. So Chow goes, like they're at a bar and they're talking to women. He's pretending to be the Cribs director, and he says, "Also, I've told these women that MTV wants nudity now to bring all Americans closer, considering the world we live in."
Oh, I didn't even pick up on that.
But then it's like, which isn't
Good catch, Dave.
Yeah.
It wasn't an amazing joke, but I was just thought that's kind of that. You know what? That's the show that they missed of
Yeah.
like young dudes living in a post 9/11
Yeah.
Manhattan.
And it's
I
like
did.
Americans-
I didn't even pick up on that, and I hadn't even thought about how closely this came out post
yeah.
9/11.
Yeah.
It's like a month later.
Well, I
Yeah.
think it actually it would have been filmed maybe then. I think it came out in 2002. Did we check that?
my-
Like when it first aired?
Yeah, probably.
Well, it's like 9/11 did such a fucking job on America. Like it did such a fucked up their psyche forever. Like
Yeah,
it's so,
definitely.
so it's like it's such an interest. Like it is such a opportunity.
No, the
for
first
cool-
episode. Sorry, the first
Yeah.
episode aired 14th of October.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's
would've-
what I mean. Like a month
Yeah,
later.
So they
yeah.
would have been filmed while the towers still stood. I bet you those were quickly edited out of the opening credits.
Although
Saying, "I
that
gotta
that
be
would have
a
been a
man."
fucking late edit.
Oh
Like,
yeah, and I'll
The
tell you what,
towers are there. The towers are there.
this theme song I
Oh
think
yeah,
is just
speak your piece.
fucking garbage. Like
Yeah.
that's how I thought.
I
That's-
like it. I'm on board.
So
I don't
Apparent-
like it, but I
I
like
don't-
the guy who sings it.
Yeah. Apparently,
Violent
it's the
Femmes
singer.
guy.
I like Violent Femmes.
It's just, but it's also like kind of like all right. So every like sitcom has a thing of like on like what's like it's kind of like this. The theme is supposed to be a little bit of like this is what the show's about.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's.
It sets the tone.
But these guys in the show never need to learn how to be a man. They're just- like one of them's a successful lawyer, the other one works in charity. Like they're already defined.
Yeah, they're
I
all
just
doing
have
okay.
like there's no reason to fucking really give a shit about where these characters are going.
The
Yeah.
theme
Yeah.
should be damn it. Like it should be. I guess this is growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's
That should
true.
be the theme song of every TV show.
my God.
Yeah.
Because
Song of
they're
Friends
ultimately
should be
all
damn.
about growing up.
But also, I get your thing, that what you mean
sorry.
about it, because they're saying like I'm halfway there or whatever. But like, at least so far, I'm fairly certain during the entire course of the show, there's no character development. Like,
No.
one changes. The only
I
thing,
disagree.
The only thing that might change is that like Liz and Mike break up.
I disagree.
But like,
Well, spoilers.
We don't know that.
we don't know that they break up. We think they do.
We theorize.
We
I
haven't
disagree,
watched this since we
and
were like 14.
I have 2 points. One to bring up, like with the whole group and Woodhead now, because I mentioned it last episode.
Mm-hmm.
But these episodes, like, really drag it home. My theory is. That,
I
like,
was going to say,
when
hang on, this is, I want to see if this is what you're about to say. My first note that I wrote was, Status was gay theory holding up.
Yeah. So my theory is that originally, when they created the show, Status Quo, they
Yeah.
wrote him as a gay man
Yeah.
because they
But
were
post
like,
9/11, America
yeah,
couldn't
well,
handle
they were
it.
like,
It's
how
like
do
there
we-
couldn't be a gay rapper.
So because like
there couldn't be.
because like the cliche of like, oh, we've subverted this black rapper and we've made him like an old white guy, but like,
Yeah.
but he's not in the first few episodes. Did you watch any of the other ones?
No.
No,
Okay,
of course
good.
you didn't.
like,
Why the
The
fuck
bare
would you?
minimum.
So the
Yeah.
Cribs episode is basically like the first episode. He gets a story to himself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's,
but even then, it's still not.
So
heaps.
that's the 7th episode. It's still not heaps. So my theory was that originally he was written as a gay man, and that the network or someone higher up was like, "No fucking way, we've got to cut this." So they
we
jumped-
can't give homosexuality
Yeah.
that much air
Well,
time.
no, but I mean, when I watched it, I kind of thought,
You kind of thought maybe he was gay.
well, no. I mean, it's just kind of like the classic, trope of like, which is so prevalent, I think, in like 2000s. Like, what if rappers weren't hard? What if they were not street? And it's
Yeah.
just like, and kind of, I mean, it's like that thing. I don't know. Status Quo was fine, but I just thought, why was he in the show?
Yeah.
You know, like,
that's the
it's a
thing.
big
I think
problem.
like
He's like their Kramer. or something.
Yeah, but he's not even ridiculous.
But
Like, he's just not.
Yeah, which is why I think the thing was that, like,
Status gets more airtime later on.
yeah.
Yeah.
But originally, that's the thing. I think, like, so many people in, like, the early 2000s did, like, what if the rapper who, like, talks about shooting bitches actually liked the Pottery Barn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, it's like, I think they went further and, like, fully made him gay until
Yeah.
they got pushed back. So they had to kind of scrap him from the first episodes and, like, bring him back
Yeah.
slowly. And then, like, that kind of Cribs episode was them, like,
He's like, with a
acknowledging
lovely
it.
ceviche or whatever, and they're like,
Yeah,
That's
and the
a little
Cribs episode was them
au fait.
kind of acknowledging it and being like, "Yeah, dude, like you're written as a gay guy."
Yeah.
So the craziest thing is like, I haven't watched any of the other episodes.
Yeah.
So how the first episode to me starts is them walking out of the room. I have no idea who any of these characters are.
Yeah.
And the first thing you hear is like, you know, Status Quo going like, "What's wrong with my room?" And they go, "Dude, it's gay."
Oh yeah, that's literally
And
the first thing.
That's the first, and
It's
I'm
gay.
watching it going like, you can so tell the time difference because like I was just like, all right. So like, oh, there's, you know, I didn't know he was a rapper, so I was like,
Yeah,
but even
yeah.
was like, well, you know, we have Brockhampton, Kevin Abstract, like, you know, we
Tyler.
you know, fucking Tyler, the Franco, we have gay rap.
Lil
I think
Nas X.
Yeah.
They're
who
coming out
cares
now, yeah.
And it's like, who gives a shit? Like, oh, his house is not. But it's like, his house is. It's like, dude, it's too nice. Yeah, he's a rapper. Where do you think? It's like the writers of this thought. Even though you're a rapper and you're rapping about quote unquote the hood.
Yeah.
Now you still live in the hood when you're rich. Like I reckon they thought 50 Cent still lives in like a shitty house and sells crack.
It's because it's white Jewish guys who've seen the cover of the Marshall Mathers
Yeah.
LP and are like,
Yeah.
it all looks like that.
Yes, Jamie.
what's
Make it racial about the racists.
Also, they really missed a trick by not including the thing that was in every episode of MTV Cribs, where they open the door to the bedroom and go, and this is where the magic happens.
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I say when I
No.
take women into my magician studio.
You wearing docs?
Yeah, dude, I got docs.
That's a new addition.
And a cool teenager thought they were cool. So made me feel pretty good.
It's
He
like-
was wearing Yeezys and shit. I was like, hell yeah. He was
Yeah,
like, cool
that's-
shoes, man. And I was like, thanks, brother.
That's
Yeah.
actually pretty cool.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No.
This episode is very 2002. Like, the 2 of the 3 episodes, a lot of the stuff is like, dude, you're gay?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, definitely.
there's a lot of, like, there's almost a Seinfeldian thing in episode 9 with Gag-Fi. Like, they're trying so hard
yeah.
to make Gag-Fi
Should we go through
happen.
ep by ep? Because I've got just notes on each ep.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, here are some of my
The
episode
swinger
7
one
notes.
was the worst of the 3.
Definitely.
Here are some of...
That's
Well,
what people say about threesomes with me.
I got some controversial
The
opinions.
swinger
about-
one, he sucks.
I got some-
The
I got-
swinger one was the worst of the three.
I got some controversial
He tries
opinions
to be
about
funny.
the swinger one. Then, but one like Eddie K. Thomas, everything he does is such bad overacting.
Yeah, so I said in the
Who's
last...
Eddie K. Thomas?
Mike,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
Finch
yeah.
from
Finch
American
from American
Pie.
Pie.
Yeah.
Just
I
like
s-
everything is just so over
I
the
said
top.
in the last
Like,
episode that I think he's getting better.
He's getting
I
worse.
retract that
Yeah,
statement.
he's getting
like
worse.
he's fine, but like he's the worst part of the show.
But kind of related to that is like, don't you feel like that, like despite the like early 2000s setting, like it has such a 70s vibe where just like everything is so melodramatic and over the top and just like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, definitely.
it's just
It's like Home Improvement. Yeah, it's the
I mean,
it's
because
the noisy
when
bit.
I had no idea what the show was about. I thought the whole season or the show I was about to watch was the main characters are Status Quo, Chow, and Ewan, the
Ewan,
British guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought,
it's Ewan and Mike are supposed to be the
Yeah.
main two.
but yeah, and that's kind of what I was annoyed about when it kind of turns to Mike being the dude because I was like, that's actually kind of a cool show. Like in Manhattan, you have a dude, a British
Black guy.
dude, a black guy, and a Chinese guy, and they all deal with being in America. But
Yeah.
then you brought fucking Mike,
Yeah.
who's
Yeah.
boring.
And you put
as
him
shit.
The most
front and center.
yeah.
the most milquetoast white man of all
Exactly.
time. What other notes? It's insane how little respect Liz gets considering she's a main cast member. Like
Yeah.
she's virtually not seen in that episode.
Yeah, Liz is still
And also, I've looked some stuff up later. Like Lawrence Tamil is not a bad actress.
Liz is still running the course that has been set early on for her, where like
She's
if
just
she-
there to cause problems.
Well, like if she does something bad, she's bad, and if she does something cool, she's a slut. Like she still can't win in this.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
She gets closest, I think, in the Marathon Man episode, but even that's
I liked her in that episode.
Yeah.
The weird, I mean, just on to your point, Rosie. is like,
Yeah.
The weird point is that they set up very early that this episode, or with when the parents come, is that this Mike fucking loves his mum. And I thought the episode was going to be about, okay, so now Mike has to choose between his mum and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like it should. But then you bring, and then one
Keep
off
that
comment,
point for later in the episode.
one off comment is like going, also my dad doesn't like me, which is weird. And it's like, that's the episode we're
I
watching.
just thought that was kind of like just dude stuff.
I was going to say, did you relate pretty hard to that episode?
No, it looked very different for me.
Well, I was just like,
There was
No, well, the
comparisons for
No, the thing is
certain.
that it's like flip topsy-turvy because, like,
Yeah.
you have a fractured relationship with your dad, but it turns out you are the swinging sex freak as
No,
opposed
that's
to mum and dad.
no.
no,
No.
they both are.
Yeah, they both are.
It's I don't know. I gotta get back into therapy. It's really bad. I gotta.
Yeah, I know. You got to go tell them about this tweet that I did. That you
Yeah,
liked.
absolutely. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's my relationship with my father and sex is, whatever.
You should stop
Who
having
cares?
sex with your father.
Some
is
might
what I think.
consider it to be unnatural.
They can't come between us, though.
Yeah.
No one could.
It's like the thing with the like family thing that Dave is right about is that it seems like in the cold open in Act 1 that the whole thing is going to be like Mike loves his mum and his girlfriend, but loves his mum almost in a sexual way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but then it turns to like Mike has a fractured relationship with his dad and doesn't go a long way to explaining that beyond like his dad made fun of the way he threw once.
Yeah.
And then
And his
everyone
dad-
else agrees with it.
Yeah. And his dad is a fucking dweeb.
Yeah, and his
Who's
dad,
he going to neglect?
Yeah, at least
Yeah.
my dad's cool, you know.
but his dad's a dweeb, and also like his dad, the whole episode is really nice to him. Like
Yeah.
he buys him and his friends beers, like tries to connect. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't.
Well, this
it
is what I
kind
was-
of doesn't make sense.
This is why.
and like considering
also-
the mum's a swinger as well, like.
Yeah.
You could have nicely dovetailed that with the way he
Yeah.
talks to his mum and the way he treats his girlfriend. But it's more kind of just like uses a very throwaway joke about his pediatrician and his disappointment with his dad, who again doesn't really go into what his dad did to him as a kid.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The funny joke for the episode would have been him loving his mum so much, finding out his mum's a swinger, and kind of going, "Oh, my mum's not perfect," and having to deal
Hey.
with this. But just as a character,
Whatever.
And he decides to renounce being an emo guy.
Are you saying I'm not perfect?
What would you like to hear? That you are or that you're getting better?
Depends who it's coming from.
It's coming from me.
We'll talk after the pod.
but I'm saying like,
I wish I could act sheepish, like silently on pod. You know what I mean? Like,
I think
You got to
people-
figure out how to do
I
sound
think
effects
people
like
can
Michael
feel-
Winslow.
yeah, right. Okay.
people could feel that energy just then.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's palpable.
Good. It's
But-
because I'm a powerful performer.
But yeah, the fact that they've just dropped everything from the mum, it really annoyed me.
Well,
Yeah.
this is a controversial
And that's
thing.
why I think it's the worst of the three.
Yeah.
But this is the controversial thing that I had about that. Like the Cribs storyline is very bad. It's terrible, and the ending of it all is very racist. But I thought, like, maybe the execution not great, but the actual, like, within the context of stuff that we have seen in this show, the storyline of finding out that your parents are kinky,
Yeah.
swinging sex freaks is not bad.
I think
That's
it's-
actually relatively interesting.
I think it's maybe ahead of its time in that it doesn't
Yeah.
just purely condemn them for doing it, and it doesn't end with them being like, "Hey, swinging's wrong," which is a very 2000s sitcom.
That's exactly
thing to
what
happen.
this show would take, but it doesn't. Which
I don't
is
think
weird.
it would because like it was determined early on to like be edgy. So like of course
Yeah.
Mike's parents were gonna do something fucked. Like you could
Yeah.
see it from the first moment they came in.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
wouldn't care. I guess I would.
Like
I
there
don't
was
know.
a count. Like once Mike's dad cheated, there was a countdown to like
Oh,
the
I
reveal.
knew it was
Because it's
coming.
been done in
Actually,
every.
it
That's
was
the other.
too,
That's
yeah.
the other problem. It's been done in every sitcom.
Yeah.
I've seen this. This was in
How I Met Your Mother
How I
did
Met
it.
Your Mother, and it's
Friends
also
did
in
it
Friends,
too.
and it's also in. That's two of the biggest.
Which
sitcoms
Friends
ever.
was it?
Joey's mother and father are cheating on each other.
And then on top of that, And then, like, yeah, that's what I was thinking. But then also on top of that, Chandler's dad being a drag queen is like using a lot of the same notes. Like,
Yeah.
But that's sort of different.
I think
no, it is different. But I'm
Yeah.
saying it's that like kind of.
Of just
Yeah.
like parents.
But also
are
the thing
kinky.
is like Chandler's.
It's a lot of jokes of, and that's what my dad said when he fucked the pool boy. It's like it's the jokes. It's a lot
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
jokes are the same. It's about like, my
Yeah.
dad's a slut or whatever.
But that's a different problem because that's like Chandler's dad is Chandler's other mom. Like,
is it ever confirmed if Chandler's dad is trans or if Chandler's dad's just a drag queen?
I think
she is trans,
Yeah,
and
trans.
it's not like said.
You're right. They don't really have the words.
Like
for
by
it
the
yet.
end, she's played by fucking Kathleen Turner.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, I don't know. I had a point about. Oh yeah, I think with the mum and the convoluted story, like stuff with the convoluted relationship with Mike and his mum. Because I think the problem I had with it is when you watch the episode at the start, it seems like it's going to be about a guy with like an Oedipal complex, but then it's revealed that it only seemed that way because it actually has nothing to do with that. It just happens to be a story by guys with Oedipal complexes.
Yeah.
Like the reason they're writing about this character's mother this way, we thought to the point where we thought they were doing it as a device. It's like, oh no, these guys just have a fucked attitude towards mothers,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
they obviously
these guys are
asked
just a
that.
bit fucked. Like,
They obviously asked that actress to put on that high voice as well.
yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Mind the more
Also-
of mummy.
Can
Yeah.
I just say, she was kind of hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was hot.
The dad
like,
was Stephen
don't-
Tobolowsky, right? Like he's been in
A bunch of
Yeah.
stuff.
Can't
I
remember.
recognize
He's
him from stuff.
I'm watching Silicon Valley again. He's in Silicon Valley. I think like season 3. I'm up
I think
to
he's
now.
in the Mindy project.
I-
a bit,
I
too.
He's in a bunch of stuff, but he's
I
like
think I only
he's
watched the
awesome.
first season.
I love him.
Yeah, he's
Let's
funny.
move to the second one.
Well, the other point I had at least from that was just like when Status started doing the "I live in a crack house" or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
do you this may be less for you because you've only watched 3 episodes, but like, if you guys just kind of watch this and going like, I wonder when there'll be an episode where there won't be something like frighteningly problematic.
Yeah, I do imagine Dave is less concerned about racism than the three of us.
I just mean we've seen 9 episodes of the show. He only has to
No, I
watch
know.
3.
It's
We
just-
have to watch
it
all
was just-
27.
Yeah.
Like-
It's like, Dave, look,
Dave, you can sit this
I
one
get
out.
it.
We're
You're-
talking about.
you're Torres Strait Islander. You don't know shit.
Get on the bench.
Anyway,
Well, you might have had that thought of just like, I wonder if all 3 episodes are going to be equally
but-
problematic.
And I mean, that was kind of the big problem with. Like that's why I was saying like what I thought the show was going to be was a British guy, an Asian American guy, and an African American guy live around each other, and they all have to deal with stuff. I think that's an interesting show. Of like you're
Yeah.
white guy, Asian guy, black guy, and
That could be an interesting show now.
yeah. But then you just
Except replace the British guy with like a
Hastings.
woman. A trans woman, maybe.
well, I mean,
Or-
I
It's
think
Hastings.
Maybe an Australian trans woman.
Why is this just making the same joke as I am? But I've been.
Yeah, but you're
Yeah,
Hastings.
yeah.
I mean,
but
look-
I'm more interesting. Well,
Rosie,
you know.
I hate to take work from a trans actor, but I think
An
what the
Indigenous
show.
man.
Jamie.
No, but I just think the
Show
show.
needs a fat guy.
Hey, me, Indigenous and fat, 2 for 1, baby.
Well, more like 3 for 1.
You dirty dog. You treat our guests this way?
Jewish and fat, been through a lot.
All right, new podcast. Who's had it worse?
Man, if we
Two
made a,
fat guys going, well, they actually killed more of my people.
we're tailor made for a podcast
Well, we-
because our logo is just the fucking animal.
But like the weird thing is like, so it's like
The problem is
Fat
you can't
guys.
fit both of you in the photo.
That hurts. Man, sucks to see you done like that, Dave. Just obviously talk about you.
or like fat guys talking about fat guys with different backgrounds talking about travesties while eating fast food. Just like
While
fuck-
smoking the fattest blunts.
yeah.
you just hear like
Fatties with fatties.
Oh, fucking.
fatties with fatties.
Neither
That's
of you smoke
actually-
weed.
Wait, but couldn't,
I know.
couldn't you get some fucking sponsorship on that pod?
Oh my god! I'd
Just
start
every fast food eatery, like, you'd be
Yeah.
raking in the bucks.
Damn,
All right,
Frank,
let's talk
should we-
after
Yeah,
this.
let's do this. Let's do
It's
this.
time to jettison Hastings.
Finally.
Let's wrap this
Put
up.
me out of
Me
my
and Jamie have
fucking
something to
misery.
talk about.
Time to take Hastings outside with the shotgun.
Was someone finishing a point? Or
I
did
had
move on to
I had
the
a
next
story
episode?
about to do with you two looking the same.
Yeah.
I was in
Oh,
Melbourne.
this has been said before.
I was in Melbourne. Well,
Having
yeah,
sex?
but hold on. I was in Melbourne last year, and it was quite late out the front of the artist bar, and I was quite drunk, and I was with Tom Sanderson, who was in, a Tom Sanderson mood.
Former guest.
Yeah, I was hanging out with the Sandman, and he was just going up, we were just hanging out in the smoking area at the front, and he just went up to Adam Knox and go, "Do you know Adam Knox, Jamie?"
I know.
Mm.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is kind of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Adam Knox,
Love
great
Knoxy.
comedian from
Very
Adam-
funny.
Yeah, he's sick. Hey, Sando goes right up to Knoxy and goes, "Hey, Knoxy, has anyone ever told you that you look just like an inflated version of Jamie Kirk?" Adam Knox is like, "I know that name. I've never met him. I've never seen a photo of him."
He also
Tom,
do-
I don't know what you're talking about.
Such a rude.
Yeah, and then Tom just keeps, and Adam has to be like,
It's
"Look,
a
this
rude
sounds
thing-
like it's quite
It's
mean."
a rude thing to say to him. It's a rude thing to say about your friend, and also it's not even particularly accurate.
He had beard and longer hair at the time.
Yeah.
It was
but
about, he was talking
even-
about the beard and hair. They're just both fat guys with
I mean,
beard and
But
hair.
even so, like,
Yeah, I'm-
Noxie doesn't look like Jamie.
I'm not telling a story favorably to Tom right now.
Yeah.
In defense of Tom.
Who does listen to every episode
Yeah,
of this?
well.
So hi, Tom.
Love you, Tom. But yeah, no, just kept insisting. And I would be like, "Tom, I don't know who that is, and this doesn't feel very nice."
yeah.
I had that with Noxie. I mean, it's just when you look like when you're a couple
Yeah.
of handsome birds.
Yeah. When you're a couple of guys that fill out a suit pretty well. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's just the classic thing. If you have curly hair and a beard, and like because I've got an Noxie. When I was at Melbourne, well, last year I think.
We certainly fucking weren't there this year,
went
were
this
we?
year, exactly. When I bumped into Noxie, it was like me and him have a little chat, and just some fucking kind of go, "Hey, you look like it." It's like, yeah, we get it.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, we both have 10-inch pins.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah,
We're
that's true.
both,
That's the biggest resembling factor.
we're both packing big heat.
Yeah.
Should we move to episode 8?
I would love to. This
Okay.
one is though there's nothing really problematic about this one, all right?
There had to have been something. There
So was
always
this one
is.
again?
This was the one where Ewan was
Lies
paying
to Mike. And
Oh,
Mike
yeah.
and
gets him to
whatnot.
be a bitch.
Kiss and be fucking.
Yeah, gets him to be a bitch, dude.
Jamie,
Yeah.
you can do this to me if you want.
I just.
I'm gonna,
I don't have a
Well,
money
actually,
to pay you to do nothing.
Yeah, but if you got the
I said
money.
like
Yeah.
I said that like this is probably the first genuinely interesting plot of like money versus.
Do you think so though? It's such a sitcom plot.
Yeah,
But-
it's very sitcom.
But like money versus morals.
Yeah,
you
but
can
it's
kinda
my
get-
butler. Like it
Yeah.
feels very,
Yeah.
but it's my butler.
Yeah, but you could like there's more interesting stuff to do
Yeah,
with that than
it's-
like everyone's got crabs.
It at least
You know?
makes sense, which is you can't really say about the
There's
parent
still
one.
so much of a problem with this show.
Well, here's a
where
problem that I-
Ewan just
One at a time,
always
guys.
wins.
Here's a problem that I have with it though. Why is Mike got this great job and is such a shitbag?
Do you mean like why is the world unfair, or
But you know, they,
what
like,
did he do
they-
to get the job?
No, but
or?
they play him out to be like, look what a wonderful guy he is working in charity, but he's like awful.
Yeah.
Well, I
He's an
think the
awful
thing
guy.
is,
You're like,
Hey,
where
also-
is your drive to work in charity? You suck.
Most
You're a-
sitcom leads are bad characters in it. Like, everyone's always like, well, Ross is famously a monster. Like, stuff like that.
But like,
it's
he's
probably
like
a bit of that.
He's such an awful,
it's also
selfish
like
person.
I think it's also like Hollywood writers being out of touch with like non-Hollywood wages because like if you listen to it
Because
early
they say
on-
$600
yeah,
a
he
week.
makes $600 a
Dude,
week.
that's so good. 2003?
Yeah,
2002? That's so
that's
good.
2,400
In America.
It's $2,400 US a month, which is like above minimum wage significantly.
I don't
Oh,
make
yeah.
that much more than $600 a week now. I make more than that now,
Well, like-
but not that much more.
well, like-
Oh man,
you know,
last
like-
full time I job. Last full time I job. Last,
Say your salary on air. Say your salary on air.
I could.
Don't.
Why not?
do it. Be
Uh,
transparent.
I actually
wasn't-
can't think of a good reason not to.
It wasn't good enough. It was like $55K a year, so I earned like probably like $750 a week or something.
That
like
is bad.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I earn less than that now. But I earned a lot more at my other jobs. I took a big pay cut for this job.
Because you just have a big passion for uni.
Student accommodation. Yeah.
Yeah.
As
He
an-
believes.
Just as a quick side note, it's come up.
No, it's because it's easy.
It's come up. It's come up before.
The
but
Andrew
it-
Hastings Hope poster.
It's come up
Because it's
before.
easy.
Like,
Thumbs up.
Easy.
I'm doing the hate
But
symbol.
no, yeah, two white power symbols.
White power symbol.
It's
It's easy.
Man, if I got a photo of you doing that, I would Photoshop that to the Barack Obama Hope thing. Like tomorrow. Like I would dedicate my whole day to it.
oh yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah, let's do it.
This is, excuse me, not really anything, but like, I've seen it before, but I only thought to write a note now. Like, do you notice in the background, it's like a foreign language American Pie poster in Chow's restaurant?
I did notice it.
And it's Vietnamese for like boy puts his dick in a pie, I believe.
Really? You
Yeah.
looked that up.
I did.
Because I didn't know what language it
good
was.
morning in Vietnamese. Is that racist? Probably right. I probably shouldn't say that. I apologize.
Now, I'm just going to ask, is that just for the joke for the show? Or
I
like
think
they
it's just
made
a-
up? Or that's not the actual Vietnamese translation for American
I think
Pie?
it's a joke for the show because it's by the guys who created
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they like wrote it.
Do you want me to talk about Big Bang Theory?
I want to
on.
hear this theory.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were.
No, you go. I just had only one more point on this episode.
All right. Well, just because I've spoken before about how like I'm not saying I think Big Bang Theory's good. I don't think it's a good show. I'm not arguing that. I think it gets like kind of an unfair rap, specifically around like sitcom comparisons and things like that. It's very bad, but I think that I think watching this show kind of crystallized what my defense of the Big Bang Theory is, and I think it's like interesting for this show to compare like what they do differently. This show is everything they're doing like
For
badly.
you.
Like, they're doing like pretty bad, right? It's like it's a very formulaic sitcom. You recognize all these elements of sitcoms. It's clearly just
Yeah.
a sitcom. It's whatever. You're going like, okay, well the premise isn't quite clear. What is the show? What the show's actually about? The lead actor, it's like he's unlikable, but it's not really clear if he's supposed to be unlikable or not. I'm not really enjoying him. The lead actor,
I think he's
does
not supposed to be unlikable,
It does a lot of
but he
yeah.
absolutely is.
Some of the stories are tighter than others, and the ones they do bad, it's like, oh, this is pretty bad. The ones they do well, though, it's like, oh, like that one we were saying about the money. It's like, yeah, this is just like it's just a
Yeah.
sitcom. It's like it makes sense as a sitcom. Big Bang, I think that the actual content, like the actual jokes involved or whatever, I think they're just as bad in both sitcoms. I think this is like as bad as the Big Bang Theory. I think maybe some of the criticism people have of whatever, like. But Big Bang Theory like does that stuff like well. Like Big Bang Theory has a lot of money behind it. Like you can like it's
Yeah.
actually like quite well produced and like it's pretty slick. Like what I'm saying is I think the thing this show does wrong
That's
isn't
my
that,
pro-
isn't that it's not that funny because there's a lot of unfunny sitcoms. It isn't
Yeah.
that it isn't that it's badly made because there's a lot of badly made sitcoms. It's not that it's not like whatever. It's just that it's not really good enough at it.
I think
Yeah.
My problem with the Big Bang Theory is though they have that amount of money behind it, and this is still what you produced.
Yeah.
like fucking hell, dude.
I
that
mean,
doesn't bother me because it's
like
like
the show was made to make money and
Yeah.
it makes a lot of money.
it's also like still one of the most like popular sitcoms of all
Yeah.
time for better or worse.
Critical acclaim is not a goal for
I
the creators
think-
of that show.
Oh, I know, but
I
like,
think I understand what you're saying, and I think I understand why that is as well.
Yeah.
It's an idea that kind of crystallized to me in the last couple of episodes of watching this. It's like
I like that we're all having epiphanies.
it's like but like Big Bang Theory, for all its faults and flaws, is a joke telling service.
Yeah.
And like for what it does, it's still deeply rooted in 4 to 5 very easily identifiable characters that get things. Whereas off center,
It's like in a lab made fucking sitcom.
Yeah.
It's like
Whereas-
it's so by the numbers,
Yeah,
but it's
so-
it fucking hits those numbers.
yeah.
Like-
So when you're making the Big Bang Theory, you're like, all right, well, I've got this guy who's like the sweet nerd
yeah.
who is going to be the main love interest.
Yeah.
And that's kind of unconventional. Then we've got this really unconventional
Yeah.
nerd who like
Yeah.
We've got it, but
possibly-
they just go, who's our Kramer?
who
Who's
has
our-
like Asperger's and like that's
Yeah.
going to be a thing with mental health. Then we've got like this
I
Indian
don't think I
guy
was thinking
and
that
he's
at
got
that
this,
stage.
and then we've got the perfect guy and then we've got the whole woman. Whereas off center is like
yeah.
their pitch is like we're going to be an edgy sitcom.
Yeah.
Like we want to like
Yeah.
everything has
There's
to
no
be
premise to
edgy.
the sitcom.
And so it's like, all right, well, what about the characters? And it's like, well, the characters will serve to push the edgy jokes.
Yeah.
Because we're doing American Pie, but on the small screen, but also for a TV audience.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about sex and dicks and threesomes and cheating and like non-monogamy
And mum
black
swinging.
Yeah, and like black
Yeah.
guys pretending to be white and whatever. And it's like, all right, well, like, give me an example of your character. And they're like, we just did.
Yeah, definitely.
And you're like, no, you didn't.
You know what this show, the best version of what this show's trying to be is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, that's just like a show who's like, but the problem is like, I think Off Center's trying to play it safe. But it's like, we want to be edgy, but we also want to be very
Yeah,
commercial.
it's actually not that edgy.
It's
Like-
not.
because they were on
Because
the
it's also-
WB.
Yeah.
It's a
So
network
it's like
meant
if you
for
can't do it,
teenagers.
then don't do it. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
do something
So we've
different.
all agreed this fucking show's just a waste of time.
Well, then there's the last episode.
Cancel the pod.
Yeah. I had this point. It was I think I've kind of brought this up briefly in the last couple of episodes about this, but like the stuff with like the prank war stuff where they're like tallying up how many pranks they have on each other. Like they need more of that because that makes them feel like their friendship is more lived in or whatever. And like the joke where he's just like, "Oh, I put my tongue in your beer when you like were not at the table or whatever." Like that's like a nice touch. Like you know those things that they have in shows where like there's little jokes like that are like they're not that funny, but it's like a nice
It's
thing
good to
between
use
the friends.
so that you know that
Yeah,
they
yeah.
are friends.
Yeah.
And have been for a while.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
there was very limited, chemistry between anyone.
Oh, there's no fucking
Yeah.
It's
chemistry.
just-
Yeah.
Episode 9, though, does have one of my favorite lines from the whole show so far.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those ones where it's like, it's so dumb that I appreciate the audacity of how ridiculous it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's John Cho saying, you want to make some cabbage, you got to show some abbage.
Yeah, that's pretty
Which
good.
is like,
Yeah.
like I laughed
If you
out
said-
loud being like, oh, that's good.
If someone said that to
Yeah.
me conversationally, I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, if
Chow-
someone,
that's
if someone
pretty-
said that conversationally to me, I'd be like, that's a tweet and I'm stealing it.
Yeah.
Chow kind of ruled. I thought Chow.
Well, Chow is the breakout star of the show.
Yeah, like, and
Yeah.
I think it's just a testament to Again, I don't remember his name, but like that guy,
John Cho.
Yeah.
Harold.
Cho. Yeah, he's Harold.
Yeah.
I was thinking when I was watching this show, I was like, is he
Milf
Harold? I was like, is he Harold or Kuma? And I was like,
Yeah.
he's obviously Harold.
I think- I do that
They
in my
really
head-
fucked up if he's Kumar.
I do that in my head every time we talk about either of those actors.
Yeah, definitely.
I have to think it's like, no, of course he's not
Yeah.
Kumar. It's whatever. I think they must have done it on purpose,
Of
right?
course, yeah. It was like Chow was. I enjoyed every time he was on
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Well, I've espoused his virtue quite a bit.
from memory, he starts to get a lot more screen time because they obviously clock that like John Cho is the best actor. And,
Yeah.
like the star.
Yeah. So we've kind of done a bit of episode 9 already. We've mentioned it. Like, episode 9 is the big gay panic episode.
Yeah.
And the first time they did the, like, I'm not gay, I'm British joke, I was like, oh, for 2002?
Did Arrested-
That would fucking knock it out the
Now-
So
goddamn-
I first heard that joke in Arrested Development.
It would have been Arrested
It would have been
Development
before it, right?
to
Because it
the
was season
punch.
3 Arrested
Yeah.
Development.
Yes.
When they did the Little Britain part.
Now, when we're talking about the
Not Little Britain.
racism part of the first
What's it called?
episode, I took as stand back, Rosie. I think it's time for you to step back a bit while we talk about the gay panic episode.
Well, this is the first note that I made about this was just gee, I bet this issue will be handled tastefully over the next 20 minutes.
Good.
yeah. This one was fucking again, like, just, and I guess it's just that early 2000s. Like this whole show is very toxic masculinity.
That's literally what the other
Yeah.
literally every fucking storyline in the show stems from some form of toxic masculinity.
Because even the episode before, it's
It's
like
almost like it's systemic or something.
Yeah, even the one where you're like, oh, this isn't as provo is like, it's still toxic masculinity. Like, my friend makes more money than me and I feel emasculated by
and it's
that.
kind of like, all right, like we've set it up, like this guy fucking works at charity. Sorry, I know we're moving on, but we're going back to the last one. It's like,
Hey, we
but it's
can
like,
jump back around.
but it's like, all right, the big problem is you work at a charity and he is a corporate dude. It's not actually a problem. Now, if I was making so much money and I had like, a mate who wasn't, but I was like, hey, we're all going to this big restaurant, like this big expensive. If I knew he wasn't making a lot of money, I'd be like, hey, bro, still come along. I'll I'll take you out. Like,
Yeah.
just like, because
Yeah, it's nice of you to
What,
do
you
that
know.
for Jack Romance.
Jack Romance is that Jack. He's
Yeah, no,
that for
he's
me.
that guy.
Right.
He's your Ewan.
Look, I work
yeah.
at. I work.
Jack Romance is just storming in and be like, I slept with the hottest bird last night, David. I'm working as a reporter.
I'm in News Corp. Well, that's a sitcom itself. I work at the ABC. He's at News Corp. What's going to happen?
The original
Said
odd
I gotta
couple.
be a man.
Gotta be my-
Halfway there.
It's covered by Dune Rats.
Said I gotta be a man. Halfway there.
The whole intro is just smash and cone. Yeah, that could.
Red light, green light is bong. Like it refers to bongs, right?
No,
Green-
a red light, green light. It's
Yeah, the whole-
Dom Dollar. Yeah.
But
Who
isn't
am
the
I-
whole video for red light and green light? Is they literally
They
just
smoke
like
bongs.
they just
and I
smash
meant-
cones
I
the
actually
entire
when they
video?
did the record cone
Yeah.
thing, but it like it just it was like, is it because it's like lighter and weed, like red and green?
What song? Which one is this? Are you talking about?
Red light, green light by
Like-
Dune Rats.
Dune. Oh, the Dune Rats. Song.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of the red light, green light. The
Oh,
TikTok
no,
song.
that's like
Sorry,
I know
I
that
was
song.
like, no, that's dancing.
Yeah,
I don't
when
even
Dune
know
Rats
that.
say red light, green light, are they talking about smoking a bowl?
Of course.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's
what
so-
song are they not talking about smoking a cone?
Yeah,
That's where
it's
they're
great.
talking about cracking a fresh Yulee's beer.
Yeah.
This podcast brought to you by Yulee's.
Man,
well,
Dune
we can't
Rats,
bring
like-
in advertisements when I'm here.
Man, I love Dune Rats. They're like, we brought our mums to Splendor. Isn't that funny? I'm like, yeah, that's so funny, dude.
I think it's cool.
Fucking
I'm not
hate
gonna
that
comment
band so
on-
much. Ugh.
But imagine
Dune
if-
Rats are cool. I'm sure
they
I've
seem
never
like
met
they'd
him.
be alright.
Every time
Nah.
I've heard them, like, everyone.
I'm not making fun of the Dune.
They seem like they're still sending
I
text
just have to do a
messages
lot
to
of
each other going, lol, random, WTF.
What's wrong with that?
That's how random, lol.
I send that to Hastings all every day.
It's good to see people from Brisbane get out.
It's good to say Hastings get a little bit tickled by that.
That's funny. Yeah. Speaking of people from Brisbane,
Yeah.
I used to, like, this was like a few years ago, I was sleeping with this mum, and she was she was like my age. She just had a kid. It's relevant to the story.
Yeah.
Why did you
I
say
do
I was?
remember this.
It's
It is. The story's
the
about
kid-
her being a mum.
Does the kid? All right, cool. 'Cause I was just like,
She told me
The
that
kid loved
she,
the
she moved
Joonies.
down from Brisbane, but she told me that she was in like a mothers group where they would all breastfeed in the park. Was like the gimmick of this mothers group
Yeah.
or whatever. And it was like this big, like, they were very like, they would like go to like the.
There was another
stuff
local
about
group who
public
met up to
breastfeeding or
watch them
whatever.
breastfeed in the park.
Anyway, it was all the.
got the Brisbane comedy scene.
It was. She was telling me that she was in this like public.
Regrettably, a former member.
Oh, I never joined him.
She was telling me that she was in this like public breastfeedings mothers group when she just had a baby with all the mums from Violent Soho.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
As in, like, the people who were the mothers of the members of
Sorry,
Violent
the
Soho.
wives from Violent Soho.
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
sorry,
Yeah,
not the
yeah.
mothers.
The
The
wives.
new mothers who were the wives of the guys from Violent Soho.
Yeah.
If you just call them the Violent Soho wives.
The wags.
The Violent Soho, I'm probably 95% sure it is them. They've had a pretty cool start, like, because they were working like IT before they broke.
Yeah.
So, like, when they were working as IT, I think for the uni, they like send emails being like, "Hey, we'll fix your computer, but also listen to Violent Soho on triplej.com."
Fuck yeah.
Why not?
I
When I left a
that's
job,
great.
I like plugged like our comedy rooms and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, come down to Powerbomb Comedy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was good.
I saw Violent Soho at Good Things, the last festival I went to pre-COVID. They were fantastic.
Yeah, no, they're
They're
fucking
great.
cool. Their
They're
new album,
pretty fire. like,
amazing.
yeah.
What were we talking about?
All right. Well, here we go.
Off center. Oh yeah.
We're
Hang on,
moving
are we
toward-
done?
Yeah, we're hurtling towards this part.
I might have some interesting points, but probably not because I'm not very smart. Oh yeah. I had two at least. One. Do you think the When Harry Met Sally thing counts as an homage, or was that straight up rip off?
Oh, it was,
It's very famous.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was
one of the
definitely.
most famous
I
bits
think,
in
and like,
movie.
it's the worst homage possible because I was just like, well,
It's so telegraphed.
it's like, hey, it's the scene, but except it's
Yeah,
gay.
it's on purpose, right?
And it's just like cool.
Because they do say anything
Oh,
like
dude,
a couple of
it's-
episodes before.
I was in church once,
That's
and
true.
the priest did a sermon on that scene from When Harry Met Sally.
And he was like, "It is sick."
I'll have, but he did.
Thou
Like,
shall be the maddest scene.
he's pointing.
I
like,
shall have what she's having.
I was just gonna say
Priests
he's like.
don't say priests don't say thou shalt. Like that's from the Bible.
He's like
shalt
pointing
have
up to
what?
the sky and being like, I'll have what he's having.
That's so close to what it is.
I know. I went to a Catholic high school. I know how
He
priests
was saying
talk.
the reason he wanted to, the way he decided to become a priest was he saw a guy, like the way he got into like religion,
Sure, guy
was he
naked.
saw a guy who was like just crushing it, and was
I'll have what
like,
he's
and he was
having.
like, "How you doing it, bro?" He was like, let me let you in a secret. It's Jesus. And he was like, damn, I love what he's having. But like he had a PowerPoint with images from the movie and shit. Does everyone remember this scene? Well, I had a moment like that. Everyone was like, you, father?
Yeah.
I
Told,
faked an orgasm
a
in the
lame ass
deli.
God story.
That is so funny. It's like if you see, I've never seen a priest just fucking crushing life, and I just
no,
thought, damn,
no
I
way.
need to get on that.
Yeah. Fucking-
This was a different priest. I once had a priest be like, this was like as an adult. I was 20, maybe 19 or 20.
Still
And
going
a
down
priest
for
was
Sunday
like,
service.
damn, you got tattoos? Show me your ink. And I was like, all right.
Imagine hearing
and then
"Show
he
me your
pulled-
ink" from a priest. You'd be like, "I've got to get all these removed."
Yeah, I mean, I was an adult. But yeah, oh, right, yeah, you weren't making a pedophile joke, fair enough.
No, it's just so like,
Yeah.
fuck, I'm not cool.
Man, it was actually crazy. I'll tell the whole story. It was pretty nuts. I was 19. I was bummed that my uncle had just died. And my mum had the priest who did the funeral like over for dinner because it was like one of her friends. And he, like, I was just like in the lounge room, like playing guitar and like being all surly and sad. And he came in being like, let's hang, dude. And like, I think he thought I like needed like help or whatever. But I was just like 19 and was like, just leave me alone, dude. This guy came in and he was like, cool ink, brother. Show me, and I like showed him my like I had 2 tattoos at the time or something, and he was like, "That's crazy! Look at mine." Pulled off his shirt. He had a full back piece of the Archangel Michael.
I thought that
Whoa.
rules. Was he ripped?
Yeah, that's pretty
No,
good.
he wasn't ripped.
I was
He
thinking
wasn't
like it would have been.
You gotta love the rip.
Yeah, I'm
ruled if he
picturing
was
like the
ripped.
Boondocks.
He was
Yes.
like in his
Or like
40s.
Flanders.
He was like he was
He has
kind
like
of,
2 Glocks.
he was like kind of like a flabby 40-something Italian dude.
I mean, that's still kind of awesome. But
Yeah.
if he was like,
Yeah.
He also had like a cross in his chest. Then he was like, "You playing guitar there, dude?" I know.
Cool ink. Yonkel and the big gabagool in the sky.
Oh, dearie me.
Then he was like, "You playing guitar there, dude?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Give me a fang on that axe."
this
So I
guy,
hand him my guitar.
this fucking
Like
priest.
he's asking to smoke a
sounds dope.
joint.
So then he picked up my guitar and he was like this like incredible flamenco player. He
Oh,
was like
shit.
so good. And I was just like, fuck off, I'm watching NCIS. Like,
I'm trying to play Damn It.
yeah. No, it was pretty good.
Okay, before we get into the last thing, I got one final question just to try and give Liz's character some sort of screen time. Have you got an ex who's got like a loser partner like that? Or like an old partner who's like such a dweeb that you question yourself and you're like, am I a fucking dweeb?
I've only had like I've had like 2 or 3 girlfriends ever.
I only had 3 girlfriends ever, but yes, I do have that.
Yeah, my first girlfriend's like partner's a cop.
My first girlfriend's partner was like way too clingy with her, and he was a dweeb.
Yeah.
But that's only because I like won her off him.
Oh wait, are you saying who
That's pretty
exes are with
cool.
now or who currents? Because Yvette's exes are.
I'm not gonna comment on my ex-girlfriend's future partners. But
Yeah, like-
they're all
No,
fucking
exes,
losers.
current partners.
But compared to me,
Exes,
they're all fucking
former
losers.
partners.
Yeah.
I mean, I met. I don't know. I'm like kind of. Cut all that part where I say I'm kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah, this chick. I'm.
Oh my god, Dave.
I did. You saw how
Dave,
smooth.
make a declarative statement.
I'm not gonna like how smoothly I did it before. I'm just seeing girl at the moment. Like,
seeing-
that's how quickly you do it.
Look, I'm seeing. Oh God. I'm seeing.
You're seeing
this
girl at the moment. I've met
Yeah.
her. She's lovely.
I'm seeing this girl, and I.
Does she listen to this podcast or something?
No, but she might if
But she did follow me on Twitter the other day, so maybe she will.
All right, everyone go to Rose's Twitter, find out who Dave's new slam piece is.
I've got a few new followers lately. Okay, you're
Look,
gonna have to do some deducing.
But I went to birthday. It was her birthday. I went to some birthday drinks. And
I like that you have consistent with birthday. I like it.
what?
Keep going.
And look, she invited her ex-boyfriend, who
Right.
they're
Sick.
like mates now. I met him, and I was kind of like, it was like, I was like, I didn't want to meet him.
Yeah.
She
Why
asked
would
me,
you?
she goes like, do you want to meet him? And she goes, is it okay if I invite him? I'm like, well, it doesn't really matter what I want. You're going to do it if you... But no.
Yeah.
I mean, because like, don't give me the option because I'll just tell you no. But I met him, and he was okay. He was very... I thought he was kind of socially... Like, he's very socially...
Yeah, that's a cool.
But I
move.
think it was just because I think we were both just kind of looking at each other like, why are we...
Yeah, we should
Yeah,
both. Be
we shouldn't be
here.
meeting.
I shouldn't, you know what?
And
'cause
also
he had
he's-
more friends there because it was part of a different friend group.
Yeah.
So probably I should have tapped that one out.
Well,
No, but you can't. No, he's the one that's got to tap out.
I think you should have tapped that again.
I
Tap the ex.
Tap that.
Yeah.
I'll tap the ex-boyfriend. Let's keep it in the
Oh,
It's a
family.
real show of like a
La
turtle,
Familia.
show of dominance.
I had a funny thing on the weekend. Remember last episode? I was like, I'd done a bunch of MDMA the night before.
Yeah.
So one of the people I was hanging out with the night before was a friend of Yvette's who I slept with a long time ago. Not in like a long time, but I've slept with her before. And we were both on like MDMA. And so she was being like a bit like affectionate or whatever, like not like flirty at all, but like it was like nice. It was like we were on MDMA and stuff, like just at the pub, she had her arm around me casually or whatever. And earlier in the night, she'd been like, "Oh yeah, I've started dating this guy. His name's Josh. He's really cool." And because I was like on MDMA, I was like, "Man, Josh sounds
Sounds like he
sick. You should have
skates."
invited Josh." And she was like, "I did." I was like, "Why isn't he here?" Like it was like one of those dumb MDMA things.
Yeah.
Where I was like, "Man, I'm
He's
so
competing at the
where I
X
was like,
Games
where I was
tonight.
like way too happy for her and way too enthusiastic because I was high. I was like, "Fuck, that sounds so sick, dude." An hour later, she's hugging me and she was like, being like, "Hey, I'm like, I know I'm hugging you a lot tonight. Is that okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course, dude. I'm chill." And she goes, "Cool." Just like, I'm not trying to fuck or anything. I'm just, I'm feeling close to you now and I want to give you a hug. And I was like, "Yeah, of course, that's dude. Besides, I wouldn't do that to Josh. Like, I wouldn't."
That's so funny. Dude, I fucking love Josh.
You
I
waiting?
haven't even seen a photo of him. Like, dude, I would never do that to Josh.
You're waiting for the
Josh
Hastings.
is my bro.
You're waiting for the Hastings punchline of this though, which is yeah, I'll fuck her later
I
that night.
didn't. I did not. I've been a good boy lately. Don't worry. About it.
And then I had to call Josh. I'm like, bro,
I'm
fucked him.
so
man.
sorry,
dude.
You're still pinging like, fucking Josh, I'm
I
sorry.
really hope this doesn't
Dude,
affect
I
our
love
friendship
you.
at all.
Yeah. Fuck Josh. Imagine calling your friend, bro, I love you, but I fucked her, bro. I swear to God.
Josh, please come on my podcast.
Josh.
I really done did it. I fucked
Yeah,
it.
so
Josh,
a bit of a spoiler for next week's guest, Josh.
And Josh is like, bro, who are you? And who is she?
Yeah.
We are not dating.
I went on one date with this girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Should
All
we
right.
get into the
Yeah,
the
one
project?
last thing that we like to do
Okay.
is that so you've now watched 3 episodes of Off Center. There's a
Yeah.
lot of problems with it, obviously.
Yeah.
A lot of problems that we, as 4 people, one of us has qualified writer's room experience. It's the guest on the podcast. But we've decided to fix Off Center.
Yeah.
We've got a writer's room in. We've had past guest Laura Coleman. So I'll give you like a brief preface. What we've done so far is to fix the show, we've broken up Mike and Liz.
Yeah.
To give Liz some agency and to kind of push Mike into the background and maybe make Chow the more center stage guy.
Yep.
So our first plot line that we came up with was that because Ewan has a tendency to, no matter what happens, he always wins, no matter what heinous shit he does.
Yep.
That Ewan like secretly likes comic books, and that he bonds with Status Quo after
Yeah.
Over this secret
and also
desire.
like Chow and Liz also bond with them over this because they like to go to Comic-Con and pick up nerds to fuck.
Yeah.
Whereas Mike tries to dress like Spider-Man.
Because that was
win
another thing.
back
Chow
Liz.
starts to go on a hot streak, and
Yeah.
Mike and Ewan, to a degree, are like, what?
So our
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
thing is like by fixing them, we're trying to push Mike back. We're trying to make Ewan more likable, and we're trying to give stories to Chow, Liz, and Status Quo.
Alright.
I had an idea for this. Is that using episode 9, where everyone think that Mike's Ewan is gay, like the same.
Can I
base-
just say, as a side note, episode 8 was probably the closest that it comes to Ewan losing.
Yeah, but he still pulls it out.
He got pranked, but he does still pull it out, at least. That gets the last word where he's like, Mike has to pay for the tab.
Yeah, but also
Yeah.
also episode 9, where like everyone thinks he's gay. At the end,
He
that
still
woman's
shags the
like,
girl.
Yeah.
that woman's like, it'd be
Thank-
better if you're gay, and he's like, well, I am
Yeah.
gay.
This incredibly homophobic woman who goes, I know you're gay, but I'm going to fuck you to you
Yeah.
straight. It's like,
Because I don't believe it.
yeah, it's like, that's
Yeah.
a choice you're making. It's like, all right, lady.
Well, so yeah, my idea
All
was
right.
my idea was to rewrite episode 9 in a way that like brings my theories together. And then
Oh,
we can-
challenging that you're going for the gay panic episode.
Yeah, no, and like I want to do it like that as well because like another thing is
Yeah.
we're still writing as if it is 2002.
Yeah.
Can I quickly jump in? Because it might change a lot of things.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
All right, because what I thought when I first put it on, I saw the 3 characters of Ewan, British guy, Chow, Asian American, and Status Quo, African American. Now we have Mike there, another white guy. Why do we need him? But also, remember when I don't know if it was got cut because there was a problem with our recording, but it's very much a post 9/11 America, 2002. Let's make Mike Muslim.
Damn.
Ooh.
Because now
Or
off center.
Mike dies in 9/11.
But you
Get
have
rid of
Episode
Mike.
4.
no, but you have this fucking like if the show's like completely, it's off center.
Absolutely, you're
It's
right.
like it's not. So you have
Yeah.
a diverse
Yeah, so Off
cast,
Center has the double title.
and then now you can have Mike. He's still the same guy, but it's pretty much he's now. You have so much all right, now he has to deal with the post 9/11
He has
America.
a reason for being a constant sad sack. Is because everyone hates him.
Yeah, exactly. And he's getting fucking and then you can still have I think you could play Ewan's character of a white savior trope to its max and like make it really funny and like
Yeah.
kind of going, I think there's
Yeah.
definitely stuff in there. Like if you turn Mike, you know who you get? Fucking Kuma. Get Harold and Kuma back together. That'd be
Yes.
sick. You know?
Instead of Mike, it's Mahmoud.
But and then you can still have like the same Liz. I'm just gonna. Was
that?
No,
I
that
love
was.
it. No, you're fine.
I think
I,
that was
off
love, I love the Dave
move.
no-sell, but you're
I
fine.
think it was fucked.
Was it off color? Like, I don't know.
I think
it's
I
Off
didn't.
Center.
I didn't.
Rose, no one listens to this podcast. Like,
I don't know. Like,
That's why I'm the head writer.
I genuinely don't know. Was that off?
I don't know.
Problem is we don't either.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
Also, we don't care.
Yeah, you're asking the wrong people.
yeah. I just genuinely don't.
You're
want to
asking a guy on his phone and a person that could.
I'm setting up my next bit of content.
You've been looking on Twitter for the last 5 minutes.
No, I want to talk about this tweet. I
This
did
is
before
why
when
you're
we're ready.
such fucking nuisance in the writers'
Okay,
room.
so I have my idea is that
That's
like
the- it's-
I do
it's the
kind
bit.
of like that Mike's just like a Muslim guy now,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but also like for no reason.
we've got to keep building on
It's
this.
just it should be like that because like then you can because anyone needs a reason. But why is Chow Asian? Like he doesn't
Yeah,
do any.
yeah.
really,
Mike
like-
is still played by Eddie
The
K.
Asian thing that he does is
Yeah.
work in a Vietnamese restaurant.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no.
Arguably one of the most Vietnamese things you can do.
There's no casting change here though.
Yeah.
So we're doing the gay panic episode again, and the plot,
Yeah.
the start of the plot is basically the same. Someone thinks Ewan is gay, and Ewan gets upset about it.
Yeah.
But enter Status Quo,
Yes.
who gets upset.
That Ewan's
with-
upset.
Yeah, with Ewan for being upset.
Yeah.
And then it comes to
Why
the
do
fact
you
that-
give a shit?
Now
Yeah.
we're talking interpersonal conflicts,
And
baby.
it turns out
Right.
Values are being challenged.
this is
The
status.
week after they've just bonded over their comic book thing.
Yeah, and this is Status Quo's big coming out.
This is what I call a
Oh.
learning moment as
So
well.
Status
Oh.
Quo
So
is
not
like,
just-
Oh, so Status Quo is
Status
gay?
Quo is gay
Yeah,
in
yeah,
our
yeah,
show, and he's upset that Ewan is upset that people would think he was gay.
I like
Right.
that
and
this
that's
is
my main plot for those two, but we've
That's
got
it,
plots for the.
I
That
like
is
that-
a good way to get someone to come out in a sitcom.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Definitely. That'd be
This is like,
yeah.
what's wrong? What's wrong with being gay? Who cares if you're fucking gay?
So now,
Like, who cares if
my
they think you're gay?
now my darling writers,
Well,
Yeah.
what are our plots for Mike, Liz, and Chow, and where do they
of
fit
that
in
same
this?
episode?
Yeah, and they can be unrelated.
Okay,
Like,
I
it could
think-
be to do with Mike's movie.
I think-
I just
struggle.
want to go back to. I want to go back to this Status Quo gay storyline real quick. I just think it's exciting, Jamie. I think you've done great. I think it's both a learning moment, both for Ewan, but also for America. I'm the studio head in this scenario.
I think Liz.
I got a promotion between the episodes.
I will not allow that.
I think
Oh,
Liz.
dude, I went above your head, dude. I'm the studio head.
Liz is the.
My backstory is that you're the fuck up nephew of the owner of the.
Yeah, no, I
WB.
still am. That was what we were doing last
Yeah.
week. Since then, I've gotten around you,
Alright.
and I'm now
Okay,
your boss.
I have a couple of theories. Liz is the confidant to Status Quo.
Yeah, I like that.
So he's kind of like she knows. Maybe she's found out in a previous episode that he's gay, and they're keeping it under wraps together until he's comfortable with telling everyone. And then this thing with Ewan is what pushes it out into a thing. My thing as well is because Mike was kind of left out in the lurch in our last episode.
Yes.
Maybe Mike is left out in the lurch again in this, where he's kind of doing his own thing, and that becomes a bit for a while because then he'll genuinely be like, I'm a fucking Muslim in post 9/11 America, and y'all are just leaving me out here like a pimple on your dick. You need to be better friends.
Wait,
You can actually make him a sympathetic character.
so okay, but
Instead of just a pathetic
in this
character.
episode, because I think we should. This should be if we're all right. So I think it should be the still a thing though, like where maybe they're broken up. So Liz and Mike are broken up.
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, so I think this is the episode where Liz starts seeing someone. I reckon what this episode should really focus, like the big theme of it is very much fragile masculinity.
Yeah.
And so now, you know, you can still have, so kind of like how, kind of flip it. So in this episode, the ex-boyfriend was very small, almost like a jockey type.
Oh, yeah.
So Liz starts seeing this guy who's huge,
Like
fucking
the platonic
muscles.
ideal of a man.
Yeah. And
What Mike expected the guy to be.
you know what? A full American.
Yeah.
Like a
Hulk
full,
Hogan.
like
Action
Hulk
man.
Hogan. Like pretty much like, and so now you kind of
Nothing out of this
Yeah,
cunt.
but
Just
like-
nothing. Like the guy who lives and breathes wrestling.
Well, he should be played by John
Sorry,
Cena.
I swear to God, I was just rescheduling a booty call. That's the only thing that can take me away from it. I heard Hulk Hogan. I mean,
Yeah.
Continue.
But yeah,
please.
so like, you know, you have this like, you know, John Cena, Hulk Hogan-esque, like American. So then you kind of have this Mike guy.
played by John Cena would be a good guest star spot.
Yeah. And like
such a good actor.
And you have
Yeah,
Mike, but
great.
now you have Mike kind of, there's so much comedy there of like, you know, this real like fucking 4th of July bandana wearing cunt. And like Mike's kind of like, he goes like, I fucking hate, like you can have like bars of him in the Vietnamese restaurant going like, I fucking hate this fucking piece of shit. He's all too much American. Everyone's looking at this like Muslim guy now going, what is he talking about hating America?
Yeah.
Like, there's funny
Yeah.
stuff in
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
he kind
yeah.
of has to learn
They
like,
can do their kind of like off-center mugging to camera, just
Yeah, it's still a sitcom.
Yeah.
Well,
fuck yeah.
also, I think I found a way to bring Chow into this.
Okay.
Because if we're doing like the gay panic, Ewan, Status Quo subplot where Status Quo eventually comes out of the closet, like if Liz is dating this new guy that's all American, played by John Cena,
Cena, yeah.
that Mike kind of like hates and can't reconcile the fact that he's a Muslim and also the ex-boyfriend. Chow is all the way the other way and is just in love with John Cena.
Yeah.
Like Chow's like, if Chow's got to go
Yeah.
gay for John Cena, Chow's got to go gay
Yeah.
for John Cena.
Yeah.
Kind of like the 30 Rock joke. But
Yeah.
like, that's great. That's fine.
Like
Yeah.
Chow
Yeah.
is in love with him, but like,
And like championing like Liz.
well, also like it's
Do
not.
it. Marry this
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, it's not so much a gay thing. He just like he's
He
what
just idolizes
John
it.
Cho
guy
wants to
rule.
be. Yeah,
And so then you can have kind of the flip thing is that, so kind of I think how Mike's whole thing is kind of going like, you know how at the end of that episode, the real ending is like, she goes, oh yeah, like we had sex a lot, but we have an emotional bond. So I think kind of her thing, since they're broken up now with this John Cena type guy, like the big kind of ending for them is like between Liz
Let's
and
just
Mike.
say John Cena.
Yeah, John
We've
Cena.
cast John Cena.
It's
Yeah.
John
Yeah.
Cena. So it's like Liz and Mike's telling her like, oh, you know.
What
just-
year was this? 01?
01.
Two.
Yeah, so,
02? Okay, so the year he debuted.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's
Yeah,
just debuted.
yeah. He's past the prototype. and
He
now
has
he's-
ruthless aggression.
Man, real quick, did you... I mean, we'll talk after the
We'll
pod.
talk after
Yeah.
it. 'cause
I'm
I
talking
know-
about the...
I-
Yeah.
I know
Cool,
what
cool,
you're
cool.
But like,
I feel like maybe I know what you're talking about. I could be wrong.
No,
but-
just listen.
Man, you can stick around.
Because
Yeah,
so,
I live here.
And you can stick around if you want.
so
I live in the blast hole.
Liz-
We're recording in the blast hole.
Liz and Mike are chatting, and
Yeah.
Liz kind of Mike goes, look, I feel like you've replaced me, and I feel inadequate. And she goes, it's like, I feel like I'm not good at sex. I feel like this is why you replaced me, and then she goes, look, what me and John Cena has is an emotional bond. Like I love him. And it's like, and it can be even say like, Mike, I'd love him more than I'd love you.
Damn.
Shit.
And then it's like so dark, and then she goes, it's a very emotional thing between me and John Cena, but you did fuck me better.
Yeah, you
And
got.
that's his win.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now he
I
kinda-
like
and then
that.
he
That,
kinda-
that's always the thing. Is just like you got a bigger dick.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
That's literally a thing in How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
Is that thing where
Yeah.
she's like,
You just
Ted,
make it
you're
that he's-
bigger, and it just cuts. And he's like, I win.
yeah, definitely. It's like, and that's where you can start Mike kind of going like, still having to, whatever, like this
Sad
this
sack
fucking
persona.
sad sack shit,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's just like. But this got fucked, and it's
Yeah,
like
you
that's
got value.
and that's
You got
funny.
value,
Like
mate.
that's
Yeah.
funny that he and now, and if you still keep Liz in, so and then you can have John Cena as like the boyfriend who shows up sometimes, but if Liz is still in the show, that's a no running joke
Yeah.
going, oh yeah, but Mike fucks better
Yeah.
than John
Okay.
Cena.
So there are two changes here to the entire DNA of the show. One thing I want to have as well is that like if Mike,
This is going to be a running continuity.
well,
thing,
yeah,
right?
so running. I'm keeping notes of it all. If,
Yeah.
if Mike is Muslim as well, but like is cool with this eventually, and he's like got the win that he fucks better. I think it would be good if his story kind of dovetail where like he always accepted status quo as a homosexual, and just like he knew anyway, and was just like I was just waiting for you to be ready.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like-
Yeah.
So, like, that's one thing that Mike gets to do. Two, John Cena is now part of the recurring cast
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Off Center.
You can have
and
some
he
recurring
plays
guest stars.
Liz's boyfriend.
I like that a
Liz
lot.
Liz can have her own independent stories and have agency
Yeah.
and mix with the cast. But also, if we want to do a couple story, instead of
John
it being
Cena's
Liz
like
and
her-
Mike, it's Liz and John Cena.
Yeah, because we've said like Liz can be more like the Elaine, so maybe John Cena is like the putty.
The only problem is now that with that is like we broke up Liz and Mike in our very first episode we did with Laura.
Yeah,
being
for
like
the-
Liz
for this
needs
exact reason.
agency,
Yeah.
and then the second episode we're like, well, Liz has a new boyfriend now.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it's
But she
kinda-
still gets to be her
Maybe
own
it's like a
character.
3-episode
Maybe
arc.
but maybe it could be like a casual thing.
Yeah, I
'Cause-
mean,
because
like
but
Hannibal in
but the
Broad
thing
City.
is like the way it is now, she's a member of the main cast that feels like a semi-used guest star, whereas in this case, based on we've given her storylines to deal with, she is a main member of the cast who can interact
Yeah.
with guest
Now-
stars.
and
On-
this
on
is
again,
this
off
is,
again,
this
maybe.
so this is like kind of what the show that this is now in this writer's room off center, kind of breaking stereotypes. The woman character in a lot of these sitcoms in this time was very much like, boys, don't do that, and it's like, oh, I'm seeing a new guy, I hope he likes me. Like this chick who in the show now, like
This
Liz now.
bitch.
I did not say that. I said this chick is now seeing dudes.
This cheeky babe.
Yeah,
She's
she's
like-
on the
Yeah.
dating scene.
She's fucking seeing dudes. She's-
Especially like if she kind of like is like the emotional connection, and then you kind of like walk it back a little and make it like that, like he's kind of like devoted to her, and she's kind of like, yeah, it's casual.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
exactly like you could play around with like her stories don't have to be like, oh, John Cena wants me to do this, or John Cena is like she's
Yeah.
just doing something, and then you can have John Cena like simping for her,
Yeah,
which is funny. Like that's
Yeah,
always
that's
a funny
good.
thing where
Yeah.
it's like
It's a
this
good,
huge.
great, like visual almost.
Yeah.
Like it'd be
Yeah.
like, but you said you'd be home by 9:30. But he's
Also, as a
that's-
guest star, you can fuck him off at any moment.
Exactly.
And-
Yeah.
And like that's like 2 episodes. Like she can go, I'm emotionally bonded to this guy, and then like exactly 2 episodes they go,
Yeah.
it's kind of he's gone a bit too emotional. I liked him because he wasn't
Yeah.
like, and then now it's
Yeah.
like he's too full on, and I don't.
I
like
think
it
that's
anymore.
great. So
Yeah.
in 2 episodes, we've broken up Mike and Liz, and Liz is sad fuck people. Mike's a proud Muslim
Yep.
who still is accepting of status quo is just gay.
Yeah.
Ewan has
We've
kind
brought Chow to the front.
Chow is at the front, and Ewan also has like confronted his internalized homophobia and learned to support his friend, while still being a very funny show.
Yeah. We need some Muslim writers in this room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I got news for you guys. I converted last week. Did I not tell you? I'm
This is
a
dangerous
devout
territory to
I'm,
tread.
Muslim.
Look,
You got anything to plug, Dave?
not anymore. I actually, I wanted
I
to.
can say that's not offensive, Sarah. I can joke
Nah.
about being a Muslim.
No,
it's a religion,
yeah.
not an ethnicity.
Of course you can, but should you?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not very
Joke about it.
funny. Like-
Yeah.
No, I mean it's fine. It's
yeah,
more
dude,
like
I'm not too worried. Come
Does
cancel me.
that
Yeah,
about-
that's the
that
end
about
of
wrap
the
it up?
show.
Cancel me, bitch.
We got 2 episodes under our belt. I love that.
Oh,
Dave, you
baby
got
me.
anything to plug?
Thanks
man?
for coming
no,
by.
of course. Thank you for having me. Look, I'll plug my Instagram and Twitter, David A. Woodhead, on both of them.
Yeah.
Listen to Triple J.
Oh yeah, listen. I mean, it always feels weird when it's like, I did.
Putting out a message to 100 of people.
Yeah, I did a podcast. I've done. I don't know what the schedules are there, but Beck and
Alex
is
friends of the show.
And also
Also just our friends.
Lauren and
Best friend of the show.
Lauren and B.
Maybe your best friend of the show.
Yeah, my best friend of the show,
like-
Beck Joel.
Well, my best friend of the show is Jamie Kirk. So
My best friend's on the show.
can we actually like not talk about best friends right now?
I mean, pretty much. You didn't have to. You just let me finish my plug.
Yeah, please do.
But pretty much like when I've done their podcast, like they go like, oh, and also listen to Triple J. I'm like, yeah, well, you're either listening or you're not.
Yeah.
I'm on at 12 to 3 if you want to listen, but I don't think this is
if
going
you
to
know,
change.
you know.
My wife listens to you.
Oh, that's cool.
It makes me so angry. And yeah, it's a racial thing.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Ah, man, that's funny.
No. Anything else to plug?
Actually, that kind of reminded me of this. I got drinks with my cousin from my wife's side of the family. And she goes like, so she's old, she's like 40, and she goes like, I was on a plane once and I saw there's like an indigenous netball team get on and they all had iPads and they were watching black comedy, and they were all talking about David, the cute one, and I felt like going up and saying, oh, that's my cousin, but I didn't want to look, but I didn't think they'd believe me. And I'm like,
That's so funny.
I mean, like, kind of, because it's just like she's a very white-looking woman. Like, she's like, 40. She looks white as fuck. And it would be weird to go, black comedy, sisters. Hey, my titters. He's my cuzzy boy. Like, it would be so fucking. But
That's hilarious.
I was also like, come on, well, I didn't know, like, try and give me some pussy.
P-U-S-S-Y.
EY.
But yeah, that's all I got to plug.
Funny.
Here's my Instagram, Twitter, and some pussy. No, that's imagine going to a podcast and go, pretty much I'm just trying to fuck whoever's listening. So
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I'm
Hastings
looking
does
at
that every
120
week.
episodes of
Yeah. If you're listening to this on the day it comes out, I think I'm doing Argyle comedy tonight. But
I don't know why you're laughing when you say that. It's a respectable gig.
I just don't know if it's accurate or not. It might be.
Okay.
But also, if you listened to the last episode and then looked in the weekend's paper for me, because I said I was going to be in that weekend's paper, I wasn't there. You're not crazy.
When my friends fail.
I just like how happy you were.
No.
with that.
I'm going to be in the paper. I just don't know when.
Yeah, well, I was going to be on at the Comedy Store, but here we are.
No. Because
I was going on a honeymoon.
Yeah.
the photo shoot is still tomorrow night at Giant Dwarf.
Yeah.
But apparently, because Alex J and I, who I'm doing it with, were like, hey, are they interviewing us or whatever? And they're like, oh, like not till later.
Yeah, I think often they do the photos and the interviews separately.
Yeah, it's probably going to be an email job, which is great because I can be much more pithy that way. But yeah, doing that.
That is true. You do use too many words when you talk.
I also use too many words when I type.
Well, then why'd you say pithy?
Because it was a good word to use.
Okay. You love words, dude.
Yeah, I know.
You use so many of them.
You fucking use so many words.
You use so many words, dude.
Use your
Fucking-
words.
How
I
many
could-
books have you fucking read?
if I
Like
could-
heaps, I bet.
Fucking
Lame.
idiot.
You idiot. You fucking idiot.
dumb.
Wasting your time reading books when you could be watching fucking TV.
Genuinely, the amount of books you may think I have read in this joke is so much fewer than that.
No, neither of us
But-
can read.
Not well. But yeah, follow me on Twitter, Instagram at Rosales Piper. Follow the podcast where we'll just tell you mother we ate it on Facebook, where we ate it all on Twitter, we ate it all podcast on Instagram. Look for a photo of us with the beautiful David Woodhead.
Hastings, you can go.
I'm at Jamie Kirk Comedy on Twitter and at Jamie Kirk Comedy on Instagram, I believe.
Mm.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm getting a haircut next week according to my calendar. I'm also doing Giant Comedy on the 23rd of July and the
Ooh, baby,
Magic
baby.
Mike on the 29th of July.
Oh.
And Everly Comedy's back every Sunday.
Comedy's on.
Comedy's on.
Yeah, go to Everly.
I think I might be doing the same.
Ooh,
Giant
Giant
baby.
Dwarf. Ooh,
It's
baby.
Oh, you're doing Giant Dwarf too, huh?
Oh,
that's that
we'll
joke
give
last
you
week.
the email.
I emailed him today. Don't
Oh
worry
yeah,
about
because
it.
Laura was doing it as
What?
well.
Wait, no, I'm not. I'm doing. They gave me some dates. I think we might do
Yeah,
the 30th
sick.
instead.
All
And
right.
you get a choice when you're on Triple Jet. No,
Wait, you got Triple J?
yeah, dude. Listen, your
How'd
wife.
you get
Ask
that?
your wife for the details.
I think I might have got a couple of dates in. I was just like, I'll do the soonest one that I can, please. I want to do comedy.
So, Dave, we end all our episodes by saying "to the next ep."
It's a reference to
it's a
American
reference to
Pie when
American
they say to the
Pie.
next step.
So we're going to do it now. To the next step.
To the next step.
To the next step.
If any of your listeners want to fuck me,
How many times has that been the end of the episode now?
114.